What are the best neighborhoods in Hamilton to move to, and what neighborhoods should you avoid before moving here? Well, that's truly going to depend on what you're looking for. As if you're a young professional looking for that walkability, easy public transit, and great local gems to explore is going to be a different answer than if you're a family looking for that detached home that has enough space for a home office, great schools, and sitting on a quiet street. So I thought in today's video, we would break Hamilton down into the major sectors that make up it, being Central Hamilton, the Hamilton Mountain, Stoney Creek, Ancaster, Dundas, Waterdown, Flamborough, and Binbrook, and break each one of these sections down into the different neighborhoods and what each neighborhood offers in terms of the real estate, the shopping, the parks, the entertainment, the local gems, and more. So by the time you finish watching this complete Hamilton neighborhood masterclass, you'll know where the best and worst neighborhoods are in Hamilton for you to move here. Now, if you're new here and want to learn everything about what it's like living in Hamilton and the surrounding areas, make sure to hit the subscribe button. My name is Matthew, the founding realtor of the Living in Hamilton team and channel, and for the past few years we've been helping people just like yourselves relocate here and buy a home. So if you're thinking about making the move and buying a home, and whether it's in 60 days or in 6 months, send me and my team a message today. But in today's video, we're gonna be taking a true deep dive into each and every single neighborhood that make up Hamilton, giving you all my knowledge of each one of these areas so you best know which areas you should move to and which ones you should avoid. And one of the key questions I always get asked is, where is the industrial areas and how do we avoid that? So we're gonna be talking about that in a moment, but first I thought we would break down the Hamilton Mountains map and show you the neighborhoods and why so many of my clients are choosing to move to this part of Hamilton. So let's jump on in. Where are the best and worst neighborhoods to move to on Hamilton's Mountain? And this is going to depend on what you're looking for, from the real estate to the parks to the schools to the local amenities and shopping options available to you. So in this video here, we're going to be breaking down Hamilton's Mountain into the 5 key distinct areas that make up it, being North Hamilton Mountain, the west side, the central part, as well as the east side and South Hamilton Mountain. So by the time you finish watching this video here, you'll have a better idea of which areas are right for you and your family. So let's just jump on into it and talk about the first community, North Hamilton Mountain. And this is located in the middle of the Hamilton Mountain, right on the escarpment's edge between Upper James and Upper Gage Street. And this neighborhood here is definitely popular with both young professionals as well as young families who are either first-time home buyers or have outgrown their condo and are looking for a bit more space both on the inside and outside, but don't want to lose that walkability and sense of community that comes with having a vibrant community with many local businesses close by your doorstep. And living in this community here means not only are you a short walk away from Concession Street where you can find many local businesses, but you're also just a short drive away from both downtown Hamilton and a few minutes away from accessing the highway to get to Toronto easily. Now within this community here, you're going to find many different great local amenities. As first, you're going to find Inch Park and Community Center, which not only offers a skating rink as well as an outdoor pool and a few tennis courts and baseball diamonds with regular drop-in hours to enjoy the facilities, but you'll also have Eastmount Community Center that has an activity room with many drop-in options as well as more green space to enjoy. And then also in this community here, you have Juravinski Hospital, one of Hamilton's major hospitals and is leading research for cancer treatment in all of Canada, just located on Hamilton's escarpment. And then also located on the escarpment of Hamilton is the Sam Lawrence Park, which is going to be one of the crown jewels of Hamilton's park system, as here you're going to find some amazing walking paths besides some beautiful gardens as well as stunning views of both downtown Hamilton. And it's my perfect spot to go grab some local food on Concession Street, walk down here and have a picnic. But you also have Mountain Drive Park, just located on the opposite side of this community here, offering some similar like views. And then if you're looking for a bit more green space, you have Bruce Park, which offers ample of that green space, but as well as a jungle gym and splash pad. And in the wintertime, often here you'll find an outdoor rink to enjoy with your neighbors. And like I mentioned, one of the benefits about living in North Hamilton's Mountain is you're going to get access to Concession Street that has many local businesses on it, and one of my favorite spots just in Hamilton in general to go pick up some yummy food. So some of my local favorites that you'll often see me at is first Lady Glaze Donut with some of the most unique donut options to choose from. You got Speedy Subs for your classic assorted sub with everything that you want loaded on it. You have the Dirty South, some amazing barbecue, as well as Cowbunga Pizza, my opinion, the best pizza in all of Hamilton, as well as Crumb Buns Bake Shop. And then if that wasn't enough, you also have the Zotec Theater to go catch a live show. Now, in this community here, you're not going to find any big plazas with a lot of retail box chain stores to choose from. However, you are just a short drive away from a lot of different options along James Street in some of the surrounding communities to choose from. And then as for what you can expect to find for the real estate in this community here, is it's primarily detached homes that were built in the 1950s, as this makes up about 94% of the real estate sold within this community. And these detached homes are typically bungalows and 1.5 story detached homes that offer 3 bedrooms and then 2 to 3 bathrooms, averaging about 1,000 to 1,500 above grade square feet. And then also here, you're not going to find many attached garages. However, what is often common are long driveways along the side of the home that sometimes lead to a detached garage back in the backyard. Now, as for what the homes sell for here, typically it's between 500 to 800,000, with the biggest amount of homes selling between 6 to 700,000. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this is my channel where I share everything about what it's like living in Hamilton and the surrounding cities. And recently I've had a bunch of people reach out looking to move to the Hamilton Mountain. So if that's you as well, feel free to send me a message. Otherwise, let's take a look now at our next neighborhood, West Hamilton Mountain. And this is located anything west of Upper James, bordering the edge of the Hamilton Mountain, as well as Ancaster off to the west. And this community here is especially popular with those expanding families that are looking to increase their size of their detached home, but want to stay close to many great local amenities as well as schools. As in these communities here, you're going to find some of the top rated schools throughout the entirety of Hamilton, not just Hamilton's Mountain. As here, you're going to find Mountain View Junior Public School, as well as St. Teresa's Ava Valley Catholic Elementary School, 2 of the best elementary schools in Hamilton. But then you also have Sir Allan McNabb High School, as well as Mohawk College, also located within these communities here as well. Then just across the road from Mohawk College, you're going to find another one of Hamilton's major hospitals, being St. Joseph's Healthcare Clinic, which is the West 5th campus. Then other than that, a few recreation centers that you're going to enjoy when living in West Hamilton's Mountain is first Chadok's Outdoor Pool for you to enjoy on a hot summer day. But then you also have Westmount Recreation Center, which is one of Hamilton's newest rec centers with 2 large indoor pools and a slide, as well as multiple big gymnasiums, all with a bunch of different drop-in swim and gym times for you and your family to capitalize on. Then when you're looking for a park, you're going to find a few great ones in this community here. In particular, you're going to find Olympic Park, which is a huge park with many different sports fields, as well as walking paths along the escarpment's edge where you can get your own scenic lookouts in this community here. Then other than that, when you look at the shopping options you have available in this community here, you're going to be really finding 2 main areas. The first is along Upper James. Just the entire strip of Upper James is going to have a variety of different shopping centers, plazas, local businesses for you to capitalize on. But then also, because you're right beside Ancaster, you're going to get access to that massive plaza located right along the 403 that has the Costco, the Winners, the Golf Town, Best Buy, and much more. And then also when you're shopping this community here, I can't forget to mention one of my favorite local deli and bakery shops, being Sweet Paradise. So if you're looking for a sweet treat or some great deli meat or just prepared foods in general, go check out Sweet Paradise. And then as for what you can expect for the real estate in this community here, is it was primarily detached homes, as this made up 72% of the real estate sold. Primarily, most of these homes were built between the 1960s and 1990s, and you're going to find some smaller homes that are those bungalows and 1.5 story homes, but then you're also going to find some of those bigger homes that are those back splits, side splits, as well as 2 stories. Now, primarily, you're going to find those 3 to 4 beds, as well as 3 to 4 baths in this community here, with the square footage being a bit bigger on average, between 1,000 to 2,000 square feet above grade. And then as for parking, you're going to see a lot more attached garages within this community here, as the median sold price for detached homes was really ranging between $600,000 and $900,000. However, you can definitely find a few absolute stunning mansions with scenic views of downtown Hamilton along the escarpment selling for multiple millions of dollars. Then other than that, you can find a variety of townhome options to choose from, as this made up 23% of the real estate sold here, and these here are going to be a bit smaller, usually 2 to 3 beds, 2 to 3 baths, and about 1,000 to 1,500 square feet, selling between $500,000 and $700,000. And then as for condos, it only made up about 5% of the real estate sold here, so you will find a few older buildings to choose from, as well as a new condo building right on Redfern Avenue. Now, as a quick rule of thumb, both with West Hamilton Mountain, Central Hamilton Mountain that we'll cover next, as well as the one we just covered, North Hamilton Mountain, as a rule of thumb, the more south you go or the farther away you go from the Hamilton escarpment, typically the homes are going to be built newer and more recent. And then also, as a rule of thumb, if you're heading east to west, typically the east end of Hamilton is a bit more affordable than the west end of Hamilton. Now, if you are interested in a detailed market analysis based on your search criteria for these communities or the ones we're covering shortly, feel free to send me a message. Otherwise, let's now jump on in to Central Hamilton's Mountain. And this is located in the middle of the Hamilton Mountain, and therefore it's going to give you easy access to all the great amenities we chatted about so far and are going to chat about in the next few communities. But what you're going to find special in this community here is Lime Ridge Mall, which is the biggest shopping center and mall you can find on the Hamilton Mountain, giving you many different great options to choose from. And then when you're out shopping and ready to get a coffee, you need to visit Munchie's Coffee House and Bakery, which is a cafe where human and dogs are invited, where you can go pick up some treats for yourself and your furry friend. And then when you're ready to get outside and enjoy the outdoors, you can find TB McQueenston Community Park here with a variety of different sports fields, basketball and tennis courts, as well as just green spaces and playgrounds to enjoy. And then another great playground to enjoy with a splash pad is found at the Bill Friday Lawfield Arena, where you can also find an indoor ice rink that offers many different drop-in skates times. And then as for the real estate found within this community here, it made up primarily of detached homes, as this was 85% of the real estate sold, being primarily built between 1960 and 1980. However, the more south you go, like I mentioned, especially south of the Lincoln Alexander Expressway, you can find a lot of homes built in the 1990s, with the primary style here being those 2 stories and bungalow options to choose from. Now, the majority of homes here are going to have a garage. About 2/3 are going to have that single car garage, and they're typically going to be selling between that $600,000 to $900,000 price point. And then as for townhomes, this made up about 13% of the real estate sold in this community here. Primarily, you're going to find townhomes on the south end of this community here, and they're going to be selling between $600,000 and $700,000. And then condos only made up about 2% of the real estate sold here. So some options, but not many options to choose from. Then the next area you might want to consider is East Hamilton Mountain. And this is anything east of Upper Gage and south of the Stone Church Road. And here you're going to get easy access to both Stoney Creek on the mountain, as well as the Red Hill Valley Parkway, giving you easy access to the QEW to go to Toronto or Niagara Falls, or just the rest of the lower part of Stoney Creek to capitalize on these amenities here. And this community is especially popular with those first-time home buyers, as this is one of the more affordable areas on the Hamilton Mountain to purchase real estate in. But other than that, you're also going to find many local amenities, as here you're going to find the Huntington Park Recreation Center, which both has drop-in swim and gyms, but also lots of tennis courts to choose from. And then there's no shortages of parks in this community here, as you have not only the Mohawk Sports Park, which is the largest park on the Hamilton Mountain with more than 15 different sports fields to choose from, an ice rink, a skate park, as well as a variety of different trails leading you to the next park, which is the King Forest Park, where you're going to find 2 of Hamilton's more iconic waterfalls, first being Albion Falls, which you have some amazing lookouts to hike beside and enjoy the views. But then you also can find Buttermilk Falls on the other side of this park here. And then when you're in this community here, like I mentioned, you're going to get easy access to Stoney Creek on the mountain and all the shopping options that has to offer. But you're also going to find a variety of different shopping plazas, especially along Fennel and Mohawk. And then when you're in this community here, if you're hungry and craving a burger, you're in luck, as you're going to find Mountain Burger, which has some of the best burgers in my opinion on the Hamilton Mountain. And then as for what you can expect for the real estate sold in this community here, was again, it was primarily detached homes, as this is 83% of the real estate sold. However, here you're going to find a bit smaller detached homes that were primarily built between the 1950s and 1970s that are bungalows, back splits, as well as some two-story homes. And similar to the others, the most common parking situation are going to be those one-car garages with 2 to 3 beds and 2 to 3 baths as well. However, you can find some bigger options the more south you go. And typically these detached homes are selling anywhere between $600,000 to $800,000. And then as for townhomes, this made up about 15% of the real estate sold here, and again is going to be located primarily on the southwest corner of this neighborhood, close by the Lincoln Alexander Parkway. And these here are going to be selling between $500,000 and $650,000. And then as for condos, that only made up about 2% of the real estate sold here. However, there is a plan to increase that with a large building coming soon, being the Steeltown City Cove. Then let's take a look at our next community, the south end of Hamilton's Mountain, which is located anything south of the Stone Church Road. And here is where you're going to find the most new development, as well as the most amount of expansion coming in the next few years, especially being south of Rymel Road. And these are for those families that are looking to increase their detached home size and want a home that was built either in the 90s or who was just recently finished today. Now, as for the local amenities you're going to be finding here, there's a lot of different options to choose from. As first, you have the Les Charters Family YMCA with a fitness center, its own gyms, pools, and skates park. But you also here get easy access to the Cameron Speedway, which myself growing up as a kid was one of my favorite spots to go, where you can go paintballing or laser tagging, or you can also go go-karting and play bubble soccer as well. Then another area you're going to find here to have a lot of fun with your kids, where you'll find the Flying Squirrel Trampoline Park, where you can jump on trampolines until your heart is content. And then as for the shopping options to choose from, you're going to find a variety of different options really along Stone Church Road and Rymel Road, while still giving easy access to the Stoney Creek on the mountain if you live on the east end of this part here, or you also get access to the shopping options in Ancaster if you live in the west part of this community here. Now, as for what you can expect for the real estate, it's primarily detached homes, as this made up about 54% of the real estate sold, and the majority of detached homes were really built between the 1990s to 2010s. However, there are recent plans in place for Hamilton to continue expanding its development more south of Rymel Road. So you can expect to see some more new homes coming here in the coming years. And here you're going to primarily find those two-story detached homes or a few bungalows to choose from. And these homes here are going to be some of the biggest homes on Hamilton's Mountain, typically ranging between 1,500 to 2,500 square feet, and offer that double car parking that is pretty rare to find throughout Hamilton's Mountain. And typically the prices here are between $800,000 to $1.25 million. And then as for townhomes, this made up about 46% of the real estate sold here, as this was one of the more recently developed communities, and therefore there's been a bigger emphasis on higher density homes like townhomes for buyers to choose from. So therefore you're going to find one of the biggest collections of townhomes in this community here, and typically townhomes here are selling between that $600,000 and $800,000 range, and currently there are no condo options to choose from. Alrighty guys, so now that you know everything about what it's like living on the Hamilton Mountain, the next region that I think you'll like is Stoney Creek. So let's jump onto the map and break that region down for you. Is Stoney Creek the best community for you and your family to move to? Possibly, but before moving there, you need to know the different neighborhoods and communities that make up Stoney Creek, as some areas are walkable where others not so much. Some have newer homes sitting on modest sized lots, other ones have older homes sitting on great sized lots, and it truly just depends on what you're looking for. So in today's video, we're going to be breaking Stoney Creek down into the 5 different distinct areas Stoney Creek has to offer you, being Central Stoney Creek, North Stoney Creek, Winona, Fruitland and the mountain rural parts, and Stoney Creek on the mountain, so that you can narrow down on what are the best neighborhoods in Stoney Creek for you and your family. If you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this is my channel where I share everything about what it's like living in Hamilton and the surrounding cities. And recently I've had a bunch of people reach out looking to move here. So if that's you as well, feel free to send me a message. Otherwise, let's dive on into it and talk about the first region of Stoney Creek, which is Central Stoney Creek. And here is the original and longest established area in Stoney Creek, which is split up into 10 different distinct neighborhoods. And before Stoney Creek was a part of Hamilton, it was its own town. And this is where you're going to find that original downtown area that Stoney Creek has to offer you. And because of that, you're going to find so many great local businesses with long histories here. As not only do you have the Roma Bakery and Deli, which started in 1952 as a bread delivery service and now has blown up across Southern Ontario for its amazing pizza, or you'll find amazing restaurants like the Village Restaurant. But also in this area, because you have so many great amenities, another thing you'll find is Eastgate Square, which is the main flagship mall throughout Stoney Creek, offering you a variety of different shopping options. But also, other than the great shopping options, you also have great recreational options as well available in these neighborhoods. As first, you have Players Paradise, which is a large sports complex and home to multiple different indoor soccer fields, but you also have Stoney Creek Recreational Center, which offers its own arena as well as indoor pool and slide for you and your family to enjoy, as well as one of the top rated high schools throughout Hamilton, being Orchard Park High School. And then as for on the transportation side, this is probably going to be one of the best communities for public transportation, as it's really closely linked with Central Hamilton, giving you a wide variety of different busing options to get around not only just Central Stoney Creek, but also Hamilton in general. But also here you have the main GO station in Stoney Creek, Confederation GO, which currently only has busing options available. However, there are plans to add the rail line, which will eventually take you to Union Station. And then as for what you can expect for the real estate in this community here, it made up a total of 24% of Stoney Creek's total real estate sold, with the majority of the real estate here being detached homes and townhome options to choose from. However, you will also find a great variety of condos here as well. Now, the majority of what you're going to find in these neighborhoods here are mature neighborhoods with modest homes sitting on nice sized lots that offer a scenic setting, both because of the large mature trees that line the street, but as well due to the lush escarpment as the backdrop. And the majority of homes in this communities here were built between 1950s and 1980s. And a great general rule of thumb, if you're thinking about buying in this community here, is near the west side of the neighborhood are some of the earlier neighborhoods, and therefore you're going to find a lot built in the 1950s, 1960s. Then in the middle neighborhoods is really going to find a lot of homes built between the 1960s and 1970s. And then as you move a bit more east, this is where you're going to find a lot of neighborhoods really built between those 1980s and even some in the 1990s. And then as for where you can expect to find the majority of condos in this community here is alongside the two main roads, being King Street and Main Street. Then let's take a look where we're going to find a lot of options for condos as well, being North Stoney Creek. And this is one of two waterfront communities that borders Lake Ontario in Stoney Creek, but also just Hamilton in general. And it is split up into 3 different neighborhoods. And one of the best features about this community here is Confederation Park, which is located on Lake Ontario's waterfront and offers a variety of different things to do, as you have some beaches and jungle gyms and a beach volleyball court right beside the water, as well as some great walking paths to capitalize on. But perhaps the more unique thing about this park here is it's home to Adventure Village, which offers a variety of different activities perfect for any families that are looking to either mini golf, hit some balls at the batting cages, go mining for gold, or an evening of laser tag. And if that wasn't enough, in the summertime, you can also capitalize on Wild Waterworks, offering 2 large slides for medium size, a lazy river to relax, as well as a massive wave pool and a variety of different splash pads for kids of all ages. And then as for the transportation in these neighborhoods here, overall, the public transportation is going to be quite limiting as there's not many options that reach these neighborhoods here. However, if you're planning on commuting via car, this could be a great neighborhood for you as you're literally, no matter what neighborhood you choose, right beside the QEW, making it a short drive out to Niagara or also to Burlington, Mississauga, or Toronto. And because this neighborhood is primarily just residential areas, there's not much walkability available for you to go out and get your basic errands. However, with that said, you do have a notable local business in this neighborhood here, being Edgewater Manor Restaurant, which is originally built in 1920 as a private castle and is now one of the finest restaurants in all of Southern Ontario, with a great fine dining experience to have a great date night, or you can book an event and have everyone over to celebrate a special occasion or corporate event here. And then as for what you can expect the real estate in this community here, it made up 19% of Stoney Creek's total real estate, with the primary options being both those condos and townhome options to choose from. However, you will also find some detached homes in this area here, as overall you'll find a small collection of detached homes built between the 1980s and early 2000s, with a variety of different custom built homes that are more recent, that either back on Lake Ontario or just a short walk away from it. But you'll also find a variety of townhome option styles which are primarily built from 2010 up until 2020, all within a short walk away of Lake Ontario and the many walking trails along the lake. But also here, you're going to find a variety of those older and newer condos with lake views, all again within walking distance to the lake. Then the next community that is right beside the water, if you're thinking about staying close to Lake Ontario, is Winona. And this is located on the furthest west side of Hamilton and is split in between two different areas, with the QEW running in the middle of it. As you have the North Winona, which is on Lake Ontario, and then South Winona, which is just south of the QEW. And unlike North Stoney Creek, this area here has no condo options currently for you to choose from, as the main options for real estate are detached home and townhome options to choose from, as we've seen a lot of different development in the early 2000s, as well as some new development today. Then when you're ready to relax by the nature and capitalize on Lake Ontario when you're living in Winona, you're right beside 50 Point Conservation Area, which has an amazing beach, my personal favorite in Hamilton, in fact. But you also have lots of different walking paths where you can enjoy sighting a variety of different migrating birds stopping here, as well as a harbor to dock your boat and a few RV campgrounds if you want a staycation. Then also in this community here, you have Winona Peach Festival, which has been going on for more than 50 years at the end of August, where you can check out some local vendors, some fun games, and of course, pick up some local peaches and other fresh produce. And then one of the benefits about living in this newer community here that has some more established roots, other than the culture that comes with it, is a brand new shopping plaza that has been recently finished with a Costco, an LCBO, a Metro, Starbucks, and a variety of restaurants to choose from. But perhaps my favorite restaurant for barbecue is also found here, which is the Memphis Fire Barbecue Company. So you definitely need to go check this out if you enjoy your barbecue. And then if we look at the real estate found in this community here, it made up 12% of the total sales in Stoney Creek, with 71% of the sales in this community being detached homes and the other 29% being townhomes. And if we look first at North Winona that borders Lake Ontario, primarily here you're going to find those detached homes and townhomes that were built around 2010, with a few newer and older options mixed in between. Then south of the QEW is primarily built in two different time periods. First, you're going to find those original older homes that were built anywhere from 1950s to 1980s, sitting on massive size lots. Then we've seen a lot of development in South Winona here for those detached homes and townhomes that were either built in the 2000s, then to 2015, with some newer townhome options being built today. So if you're interested in learning more about the real estate in Winona, North Stoney Creek, Central Stoney Creek, or the areas we're about to cover next, next, feel free to send me a message. Otherwise, let's take a look now at Fruitland and rural Stoney Creek on the mountain. And primarily here, you're going to find detached homes sitting on large lots surrounded by farm fields. And because of that, you're going to find some amazing local farms that you can support, where each farm grows their own apples, plums, grapes, and other produce, and allows you, depending on the season, to go pick your own produce. But other than that, you also have Ridge Road Winery, which is a local winery growing its own grapes and creating some amazing wines. And then as for the real estate here, it only made up about 2% of the total sales in Stoney Creek, and that's because there's not many options to choose from. However, the options to choose from are all detached homes that were built in a variety of different time periods, sitting on massive size lots. Then the next area let's take a look at is Stoney Creek on the mountain. And these are part of the newest communities in Stoney Creek that is being developed today, and is divided up into 7 unique neighborhoods. And because you're on the escarpment, you have some amazing green spaces also to capitalize when you're living in these neighborhoods here, as you have the Devil's Punch Bowl offering some of the best views of the city, but also you have Felkers Falls offering you another waterfall in your backyard, as well as Irmos Crafts Conservation Area with a variety of more hiking trails to explore, as well as some caves to go in. And then if your kids are going to be in sports, you're going to be spending a lot of time at the Heritage Green Sports Park, which has a variety of different sports fields, but also has an amazing large dog park for you and your furry friends to go and enjoy. And then as for some indoor recreational options, you have Valley Park Community Center, which offers an indoor pool with a slide, as well as skating rinks and a library. And then just a short drive from these neighborhoods here, you have Starlight Drive-In Movie Theater, perfect to go catch a flick and create some amazing memories. And then also in this community here, you're going to find a variety of great schools, but also some amazing shopping centers for you to take advantage of. Then as for the public transportation you're going to find in these communities here, other than Central Hamilton, this is probably the second best place for you to use public transit and get around, as it's well connected to Hamilton's mountain busing system. And then as for what you can expect for the real estate in Stoney Creek on the mountain, is a lot of options to choose from, as this made up 43% of Stoney Creek's total real estate, with the majority of sales here being townhomes, making up 58%, and the other 42% were detached homes. Now currently you won't find any condos here. However, there is some pre-construction projects that have just started along their way, adding in some low-rise condos in the coming years. Now, as a general rule of thumb for what you can find in these different communities here, is in the middle of this community along Mud Street, you're going to find a lot of detached homes that were primarily built in the 1970s up until the 1990s. But as this community expanded both north and south, you can find a variety of newer detached home and townhome options built from 2000s up until today. All right, guys, so now you know everything about what it's like living in Stoney Creek. The next area, especially if you have young kids, that I recommend you take a look at is Ancaster. So let's go take a look at all the neighborhoods which make up it. What are the best and worst neighborhoods to move to in Ancaster, as this is truly going to depend on what you and your family are looking for, from the real estate to the parks to the schools, the shopping, and other local amenities. So I'm going to do my best and break Ancaster down into the 7 distinct neighborhoods that make up Ancaster, being the Meadowlands. You got Ancaster Heights and Mohawk Meadow in the middle, Clearview Estates and Oak Hill out to the west, as well as Parkview Heights. And then you'll also take a look at Doncaster and Nakomi, and then we'll finish up at Maple Lane Annex and rural Ancaster, so you know all the different options available to you and your family within Ancaster. If you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this channel is all about what it's like living in Hamilton and giving you everything you need to know before making the move here. And recently we've had a bunch of people reach out looking to buy in Ancaster and the other communities. So if that's you as well, feel free to send us an email to book your free relocation consult call. Other than that, let's jump on in to the first neighborhood you need to consider when making the move to Ancaster, and it happens to be one of the biggest, and that is in the Meadowlands neighborhood, as this is located on the northeast corner of Ancaster, located conveniently just a short drive away from the 403 and Lincoln Alexander Parkway. And this newer neighborhood is one of the largest neighborhoods and boasts the most amount of modern homes that also fit with that historical aspect that this community has to offer you. Now, perhaps one of the biggest draws about living in this community here is you get quick and easy access to the Meadowlands Shopping Center that has so many different shopping options to choose from that classic Costco run to the Home Depot to Best Buy, PetSmart, Sobeys, Golf Town, a Cineplex, and Indigo. And I can continue to go on and on about the different restaurants you can choose from when also living in this community here. And then also within this plaza, you can also find a large dog park to take your dogs out and get them to run around and run on some trails and meet some other furry friends. Then another park you will be visiting often if you're living in this community here is the Meadowlands Community Park that has a variety of different sports fields, a few jungle gym and splash pad options, as well as tennis courts to choose from. And then if you're looking for more of that traditional hike, you can find Iroquois Height Conservation Area with many different hiking trails taking you throughout off to a variety of different waterfalls. Now, when you're living in the Meadowlands community, you're going to have 4 elementary schools to choose from, 2 public and 2 Catholic elementary schools to go over. Now, there currently is no high schools located within this community here. However, it is just a short bus ride away from the high schools that are the catchment area for this community. And then one other thing to mention about the schools in this neighborhood here is also within this neighborhood, you're going to find Redeemer University, which is a private Christian liberal arts and science university also found throughout here. Then one of the pros about living in the Meadowlands that I know a lot of my clients love, especially if you're looking to commute to work, is you have easy access to the 403 and Lincoln Alexander Parkway. And then one last thing I'll mention before jumping into the real estate and what you can expect is I'd be remiss if I didn't mention out the Eagle Classic Golf Center and Mini Putt. This is perhaps my favorite driving range to go to in Hamilton. They have some great grass tees. They have some turf keys that are also covered for those rainier times. And then in my opinion, why I absolutely love it, their short game section has a great pitch and putt where you can play off the bunker or even chip up to like 30-40 yards away as well. So it's a great option right by your door. And now let's chat about the different real estate opportunities available within Meadowlands. And Meadowlands is primarily a detached community, with it being 57% of the homes sold. Now, typically these homes here were built between the 1990s, early 2000s, as well as another section built between the 2010s and 2020s, with the average price being between $1 million and $1.5 million, typically offering you those 4 to 5 beds and typically between 2,000 to 3,000 square feet. Now, with that said, you can find some of those larger detached homes that are 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 square feet, selling anywhere from 1.5 million to 2.5 million also within this community. And then as for townhomes, that made up 39% of the real estate sold. And here you're going to find a lot of those brand new 3-story townhomes along Gardner Road, but then you can also find some of those 2-story townhomes in the middle of the neighborhood here, typically offering you that 3 beds, 2.5 baths, selling between $750,000 to $950,000. However, you can find some of those larger semi-detached townhomes selling closer to that $1 million mark. And then a small percentage of the real estate found within this community here is condos, as this made up 4% of the real estate sold, as currently there's only 1 condo building on the Golf Links Road that typically does offer you some spacious 2-bed, 2-bath units, typically selling between that $600,000 and $700,000 range. Then the next community let's take a look at is more in the middle of Ancaster, and it's some of the original neighborhood, and that is the Ancaster Heights, the Mohawk Meadows, and Maywood, as these are some of the most established areas in Ancaster. And this is located, like I mentioned, in the center of Ancaster, and this is also where you're going to find Ancaster Village, which is the great downtown options with many local shops shops and restaurants to choose from, with lots of large homes sitting on unique sized lots and mature trees covering them. As when you're living in this community here, some of the notable amenities you need to check out is, first, you're gonna have the easiest access to Tiffany Falls, and this is the best waterfall throughout Ancaster, and it's a picturesque 21-meter high waterfall that's easily reached within a short walk around a river that I know many families love to go check out Tiffany Falls and get some easy exercise on. And if you are looking for a bit larger of a hike, you can continue your hike all the way down to Sherman Falls and get access to that there as well. But also, when you're living in this community here, you're going to get easy access to the Ancaster Sports Center, and this is a large facility that houses 2 soccer fields, squash courts, a fitness center, as well as a variety of other activities. And for this reason, it's very popular with any of those sports leagues or summer camps for your kids. Then another thing you need to capitalize when you're living in this community here is the village of Ancaster. As when you're living on the west side of this neighborhood, you are going to be just a short walk away from many local businesses that I absolutely know I enjoy. And then if you're living at the east end, it's either a bit further of a walk, you can also find a bus to take you there, or you can park your car in one of the different parking lots that are located in the village of Ancaster. And here you can go check out the Coach and Lantern to go grab a beer at the British bar and enjoy some live music. You have Brewer's Blackbird for some amazing food. You have Canshish French Bakery for some delicious bakeries. Giant Ancaster if you're interested in mountain biking, as well as you can find the Ancaster Public Library within this community here. And then also in this neighborhood, less outside of the central part of Ancaster's village, you can also find the Ancaster Mill, which is a top-rated restaurant, perfect for any special occasions or events. And then you can also find the Olive Bar, perfect to go catch up with any friends and go grab some charcuterie and wine. And then one of the perks about living close to the village of Ancaster, as this is also where it happens to have the Ancaster Farmers Market every single Wednesday from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Ancaster Memorial Arts Center. And here is where you can find some great local produce and businesses to go and support. Now, when you're living in this community here, you're also just a short, easy access to that 403, the Lincoln Alexander Parkway, as well as the Meadowlands Shopping Plaza to get your basic errands done. And then another thing I know many residents of this neighborhood in particular absolutely love is the ease of access it also gives to McMaster University and McMaster Sick Kids Hospital. And for that reason, you're going to find a lot of doctors and a lot of professors also calling these neighborhoods home. And then one final thing I'll mention before covering the real estate for this neighborhood here is the Hamilton Golf and Country Club, which has a full 18 holes for you to enjoy, where even the PGA RBC Open took place most recently in 2019. Or you can also play the short 19-hole course if you can't have time to fit a full 18 in. And then how the real estate breaks down in this neighborhood here is it's primarily detached homes, as this was 99% of the real estate sold. Now, as for the different types of homes, it really breaks it down into 2 different groups within these communities here. First are those original homes that are those side splits, back splits, and bungalows that were built in the 60s and 80s and offer a variety of different finishings on the inside, selling for $1 million to $1.5 million. And then the other third of homes that are sold within this neighborhood here are those custom built homes that are ranging in sizes, ranging in finishings on the outside as well as the inside, and sell anywhere from 1.5 million all the way up to 3.7 million, depending on what you're looking for. Then another community that is going to be similar type of real estate found is in the Oak Hill and Clearview estate, as this here is one of the most sought after and expensive neighborhoods in Ancaster, and it's located on the northwest side of it. And here it's a completely residential neighborhood tucked into the Dundas Valley Conservation Area, making it perfect for any nature lovers who are looking for a larger, older, executive style homes with generous sized tree lots, including some ravine properties backing onto it. And here you can also find those custom large estates being built every year, replacing those original homes. Now, some of the great amenities you need to check out when living in this community here is the Dundas Valley Valley Conservation Area, which is what it backs onto. So if your home is close to it, it gives you 3,000 acres of conservation area to explore that is known world renowned for its biodiversity by the United Nations. So it gives you a variety of different trails that are protected lands to go and explore. And if you keep hiking, you can run across the Hermitage Gatehouse and ruins. And then on the east side of the neighborhood, you're just a short walk away from the village of Ancaster and all the great businesses we just chatted about a moment ago. Now, there aren't any schools located within this neighborhood here, so that is a little bit of a downside. However, good news is there's great access to the other schools that are just in the neighboring neighborhoods. Then as for the real estate of what you can expect here, again, it's 99% detached homes that were sold here. However, those original homes that were originally built within this community here are those large 2-story detached homes with 3 to 4 beds and 3 to 4 baths, selling anywhere from $1.3 to $2 million, really depending on the updates that have happened throughout the years. And then also you're gonna find those custom luxury estates within this community here, backing onto ravines that are priced from $2 million up to $3 million. Then the next community you need to take a look at if you're thinking that these homes might be right for you is the Parkview Heights, aka Spring Valley. And this is located in the central part of Ancaster, right along Osler Road, and therefore it gives you great access to many different shopping options available to you, as you have some great opportunities from a Fortino's and some local businesses like Ye Old Brassy Pub that I've heard amazing things of from some of my friends that live in the community. But you also have Fortino's, Shoppers Drug Mart, a dollar store, and a few other plazas as well. And then within this community here, you're going to find 2 of the top rated schools that Ancaster is known for in the Spring Valley Public Elementary School, as well as the St. Anne Catholic Elementary School. And then also within this neighborhood here, you're going to find the only public high school and also one of the top rated high schools within Hamilton, being the Ancaster Public High School. And then right beside the Ancaster Public High School, you can also find another great amenity you can capitalize on, which is the Ancaster Aquatic Center, which offers an indoor pool for your family to enjoy. And then just across the road from the Aquatic Center and Ancaster's High School, you can find Robert E. Wade Sports Park, which has a variety of different sports fields, as well as the Morgan Firestone Arena, offering drop-in skates times on 2 different rinks. And then if you kind of continue on that same road a little bit more, you'll find access to the Ancaster Little League Park, which is perfect for those baseball games. And then you can go grab ice cream at the ice cream parlor located directly in the park. But then you can also find here the outdoor pool, perfect to capitalize on those hot summer days. Now, if you are interested in golf like myself, you're also just a short drive away with this neighborhood here from Mystic Golf Club, which I've heard good things about, and it's something I'm going to have to go check out this fall to go and see how it is myself. But for how the real estate breaks down within this community here, again, it's primarily detached homes, as this made up 67% of the real estate sold, and they typically sell between $1 million and $1.5 million. And these here are those 2-story homes, sometimes a bungalow, that were built between the 80s and early 2000s, offering that 3 to 4 baths. And then like the other neighborhoods in Ancaster, you can find some of those large estate homes selling anywhere from $1.5 million to $4 million. Then also within this community here, you're going to find a few great townhome options that make up 25% of the real estate being sold here, located right along Wilson Street, as well as a few pockets throughout, typically selling between $675,000 to $950,000. And then condos are becoming more and more common within this community here along that Wilson Road, as this now made up 8% of the real estate sold, Typically, it's 1 to 2 beds, and they're typically selling between $500,000 and $700,000. So if you're thinking about making the move to Ancaster in one of these neighborhoods here, have some questions you want to get answered, better understand the real estate opportunities that match your search criteria, book a call with me and my team by sending us an email today where we can cover all this and more. But the next neighborhood you need to check out when you're thinking about living in Ancaster is the Doncaster Courts and Nakomi Way. As here, it's located again in the middle of Ancaster, right beside the 403. And here is home to a few other elementary schools that are found throughout Ancaster. And here's home to Optimus Park, which has a jungle gym and a variety of different green spaces to enjoy. Also within this community here, you're going to get easy access to a variety of different amenities we've chatted about with the other neighborhoods that are in the central part. So this is the Hamilton Golf and Country Club, the 403 access, the plazas on Wilson Street, and more. But as for what you can expect for the real estate within this community here, is it's primarily detached homes, as this made up 82% of the real estate sold. However, these homes here are going to be a bit more affordable, selling between $800,000 and $1.2 million. And here you're going to be finding those original bungalows and side splits that were built in the 60s and 80s that have been updated on the inside and are sitting on 100-foot lots. But you can also find some of those custom built homes like in the other Ancaster neighborhoods that really range in styles, selling anywhere from $1.2 million to $1.6 million, as well as some large detached homes that were built in the 90s, offering you some luxurious finishings now on the inside. Then as for townhomes, this made up about 11% of the real estate sold. And here you're going to find a nice mixture of those two-story townhomes, as well as some bungalow and bungalow townhomes, which I know are pretty popular with my downsizing clients, typically selling between $700,000 to $850,000. And then right now you're going to find one condo building within this neighborhood here, and that made up 7% of the real estate sold. And these units here are typically selling between $500,000 and $825,000. Then the next neighborhood let's take a look at is the one that is the most up and coming, with the most amount of new real estate options to choose from in Ancaster, and that is the Maple Lane Annex. As here it's located on the southern tip of Ancaster, right beside the 403, and it's great for those young families looking for those newer townhomes while still being really close to amazing, great amenities, shopping options, and schools. As here, you're going to get easy access to the smart center of Ancaster that's home to many different shops, from Walmart to Winners to Canadian Tires to a Rona, a Longo's, a Good Life Fitness, Albatross, indoor golfing, and more restaurants and shops for you to enjoy. But also, when you're living within this community here, you're going to get easy access to the James Smith Park, which has a variety of different sports fields, a full-size basketball court, 2 tennis courts, as well as a jungle gym, and lots of green space to enjoy. And right beside this park here, you are going to find the only Catholic high school within Ancaster, being Bishop Tonos Catholic High School. Then also, when you're living in this community here, you're going to get easy access to the Oak Gables Golf Club, where you can find 3 different 9-hole golf courses to go and play. So every time you play an 18, you can mix it up and have it fresh. Then as for the real estate you can find within this neighborhood here, is it's primarily townhome options to choose from, as that made up 46% of the real estate sold. And here you're going to find some of those 2-story townhomes, as well as some 3-story townhomes that will be a bit more affordable. Then also within this community here, you will find some condo townhomes, and typically the condo fee for the townhomes here are anywhere from like $150 to like $250. And as for the price point, when you're looking to buy one of the townhomes within this community here, it's going to be selling anywhere from $700,000 to $900,000. Then also, you'll find a decent amount of detached home options to choose from here, as this made up 44% of the real estate sold, and they typically sell between $900,000 and $1.4 million. typically between 3 to 4 beds and 3 to 4 baths that were usually built in the early 2000s with a similar look and feel. Now, you will also find some newer detached homes being built today within this community here. And then you'll also find some condo options to choose from, as this made up 10% of the real estate sold here, as you'll have one low-rise building found here at 16 Markle Crescent, offering 1 to 2 beds that have 700 to 900 square feet of living space, selling anywhere from $500 to $675,000. Then the next neighborhood you might want to consider is rural Ancaster, and this is primarily farm fields and conservation lands. However, here you can find some large estate homes also tucked into the private, tranquil life that rural Ancaster has to offer you. And you'll just be a short drive away from many different great local farms. My personal favorite would be the Lindley's Farm and Market to easily get your produce. And then you also have the Ancaster Fairgrounds found here, which is home to the Ancaster Fair that happens in September. This year, it's going to be the 173rd year going on, and a great time to go out and make some memories with your family. Now, if you're looking for a home within this community here, it's 100% detached home options to choose from. Alright guys, so now that you know everything about Ancaster, the next region that does have good schools but is a bit closer to Burlington and the Greater Toronto area is Waterdown. So let's break it down into the 3 major sections that make up Waterdown. Where are the best and worst neighborhoods to move to in Waterdown in Hamilton, Ontario, as this is truly going to depend on what you're looking for from the real estate, the schools, the parks, the shopping, and any other local amenities. So I thought in today's video, we'd be breaking Waterdown down into the 3 primary neighborhoods that make up Waterdown, being Waterdown East, the central part of Waterdown, as well as the west part of Waterdown. So by the time you finish watching this video here, you'll know exactly what it's like living in each one of the neighborhoods and which ones are right for you and your family. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this channel is all about what it's like living in Hamilton, Ontario. And recently we've had a bunch of people reach out looking to buy here. So if that's you as well, send us a message today. Other than that, let's just jump on in to the first neighborhood let's discuss, which is on the eastern side of Waterdown. And this here is really separated between the downtown core off to the west by the Grindstone Creek, and then off to the east you're bordering Burlington, Ontario. And this neighborhood here can be broken down a little bit further. So anything north of Dundas, you're going to find a more established community that was primarily built in the 90s, whereas anything south of Dundas has really been established in the last 10 years and continues to be developing today with those brand new detached homes, townhomes, and even condos to choose from. Now, when you're living within this community here, you're going to have some great parks to capitalize on, as you have the City View Park, which has a variety of different soccer fields you may spend your weekend at, but you also have Kern Cliff Park, which is a nice natural park with some stunning views and a variety of different hiking paths to go and explore. Now, when you're living within this community here, you're not going to have that many shopping options compared to the other 2 neighborhoods within Waterdown, but with that said, you're still going to have some local gems. So if you're living here, you definitely need to go check out Sweet Paradise for their sweet treats or their deli meats. I personally love their chicken parmesan sandwich, but then you also have Pickard's to get some delicious nuts or trail mix, perfect for taking on a hike to some nearby waterfalls. Then as for what you can expect for schools within this community here, is currently there is only one elementary school, and that's a Catholic elementary school, St. Thomas the Asapotols. However, with that said, you do have a public elementary school just being a short drive away. Same goes for high schools as well. Then as for what you can expect for the real estate within this community here, is it's 59% detached homes. And like I mentioned, you're going to find the newest homes south of Dundas that really were developed in the last 5 years or so. But then also north of Dundas, you're going to have some great options to choose from. Now, typically these detached homes in this neighborhood here are selling anywhere from $1 million to $1.5 million. And then as for townhomes, this made up 34% of the real estate sold here. And similar to detached homes, you're going to find the newest options to be found really south of Dundas. But then north of Dundas, you're going to find a few more townhome options options to choose from on the eastern side, right beside Burlington. And I know this neighborhood here is definitely particular with those families that are thinking about moving to Burlington, but want a little bit more of an affordable option to choose from. As here, the majority of townhomes are going to be selling between $750,000 and $1.1 million. Then as for condos, this made up 7% of the real estate sold because of the brand new condo building that is really like 3 buildings into one right along Dundas Road. And here you're going to find a lot of 1-bedrooms and 2-bedroom condos. They're going to be selling between that $500,000 to $650,000 mark. And I know some of my clients that are looking to get into the watered down real estate market really enjoy checking out this area here. Then the next area let's take a look at is the downtown area of Waterdown or Central Waterdown. And this is located right in the center of Waterdown, as the name implies. And this is where you're going to find the majority of that historic charm and those local gems that Waterdown is best known for. As within this community here, you're going to have the most iconic waterfall within Waterdown being the Smoky Hollow Trail waterfall, which it offers a great hiking path as well as some scenic views where you can get up close and personal with this waterfall here. But then you'll also find the Waterdown Memorial Park, which is the largest park within Waterdown's city center, offering a variety of different sports fields, as well as just a jungle gym, a splash pad, as well as a skate park, basketball court in the summertime. And then in the wintertime, you can also find an ice loop outside to skate around for a perfect family outing. And then also within this park here is typically where it also is hosting the routine amount of festivals and fairs that happen within Waterdown. Then as for the schools, what you can find in this community here is you're going to find the Mary Hopkins Public Elementary School, which is going to be the main public elementary school for both the downtown community of Waterdown as well as the eastern parts of Waterdown from grades 1 to 6. And then all the kids from grades 7 to 8 will be bused up to the Flamborough Center. And then as for high schools, it's also just a short bus away in Western Waterdown. However, with that said, one of the advantages about living in this community here is you're going to have a lot of local gems to choose from that are all really within walking distance, as you're going to find the Copper Kettle Cafe. And if you go check these out, you need to go check out the apple strudel donuts they have. But then you also have the Royal Coachman, a British pub to go get your fish and chip craving fixed. Then you also have the Waterdown Flower Market to go pick up some fresh flowers. If you're looking for a new read, you can go check out Pure Wick Books, as well as the local farmers market that happens every Saturday morning in the warm months here as well. Then as for other shopping options to choose from other than those local gems, you're going to find a smaller plaza to choose from right along Dundas Road as well that offers a variety of stores. Then if you are thinking about commuting to one of the neighboring cities for work, especially if you're thinking about taking the public transit options, this is probably the best neighborhood for you, as you're just going to have the most amount of busing options available, as well as you're going to have Waterdown Road, which will give you easy access to the 403 highway. But then you also get access to the Aldershot GO train station, which has a train every half an hour taking you to Union Station. But one of the downsides about living in this community here is you're going to have the most amount of congested traffic along Dundas Road, as because it's the historic charm, this is when the Dundas was built where there's really one way going each way. So you're going to find the biggest bottlenecks during those rush hour times in this community here. Now, what you can expect for the real estate is it's truly going to be the biggest mix of real estate options to choose from, as there's a little bit of everything, as detached homes made up 46% of the real estate sold. And here you can find some of those old heritage homes that were those original buildings that were built in the 1800s. Then you can also find some of those older, smaller bungalows that were built in the 50s and 60s, sitting on huge size lots. And then also in this neighborhood here, you'll find those classic 1990s two-story homes you can find throughout Waterdown. And then also within this community here, you can find some of those custom-built homes that are over 5,000 square feet, selling for $4 million plus. So there's truly a great variety of different detached homes to choose from. And that's why the prices range anywhere from $900,000 to $4 million, just depending on what you're looking for. And then as for townhomes, this made up 18% of the real estate sold. And here you're just gonna find a few different condo townhome options to choose from, selling between $800,000 to $1 million, usually offering 2 to 3 beds and 2 to 3 baths. And then this is also where you're gonna find the biggest amount of condo options to choose from, other than that one building out to the east, as this made up 36% of the real estate sold. And the majority of condos here are going to be located on Dundas and Hamilton Streets intersection. And therefore, because it's located there, you're right beside the shopping plaza, giving you probably the best walkability that any condos have within Waterdown. And one of the great things I love here is you're gonna have some new condo buildings to choose from, but then you're also gonna have some older condo buildings to choose from that offer you a bit larger layouts on the inside. And here you can typically find those 1 to 2 beds, 1 to 2 bath condos selling between $550,000 all the way up to $800,000. Now, if you are thinking Waterdown is the right community for you and your family, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call. Other than that, let's take a look at our next community, which is the western side of Waterdown. And as the name implies, this is located on the western side of Waterdown, bordering Dundas out to the east and then Highway 6 out to the west. So first thing you're going to notice with living in this community here is it's going to have the most amount of shopping options to choose from those big box chain retail stores. But two, it's going to be kind of flipped to what Eastern Waterdown was. As Eastern Waterdown, we had the newer homes on the south end, or on the western side of Waterdown, this community here, you're going to find the majority of those newer detached home and townhomes on the north side, just north of Parkside Road. And then the further south you go, and you're going to find more of those established neighborhoods that were more original to Waterdown. Now, when you're living within this community here, you're going to find 3 different schools to choose from, 2 of which will be the public elementary schools, being Guy B. Brown Elementary School as well as Alan A. Green Elementary School. And then as for high schools within this community here, you're going to find Waterdown's only high school being Waterdown Public High School, where you can find a great option for your kids to go to school that offers busing throughout Waterdown's community. And then if you are looking for a Catholic high school, you aren't going to find one within Waterdown's borders. It's going to be probably St. Mary's, which is located right beside McMaster University. Then when you're living within this community here, you're gonna have a few different parks you need to go visit. So the first one will be Joe Sam Leisure's place, which has a variety of different sports fields. I'm sure you'll spend lots of time at if your kids are in sports. But then you also have Clapson Woods on the south side of this community here, offering ample amount of different hiking trails and walking paths for you to go and explore. And then also within this community here, you're gonna have a few different parks, but you're gonna also have a lot of different community centers. As you can find the Flamborough Family YMCA, which has a variety of different activities for all ages. But then also right beside Highway 6, you'll find the Harry Howlow Arena. Most likely your kids will be spending lots of time here on the ice rink. And then also here you'll find the Waterdown Public Library within this neighborhood. Then as for the shopping options available, this community here is going to have the best amount of those big box chain retail stores to choose from, as you have the Waterdown Smart Center that is home to a Walmart, a Sports Check, Canadian Tire, Staples, and many more options to choose from. But here, you're not only just a short drive away from Highway 6, giving you easy access to the different neighborhoods, but you're also easy access to Rock Chapel Golf Center, which is a great pitch and putt, short little 9-hole course I grew up playing, and was a perfect golf course to get me started. But then you also have a driving range and mini putt you can go and enjoy with your family. Then if you're thinking about the real estate within this neighborhood here, what you can primarily find are those detached homes, as this made up 64% of the real estate sold. As in the middle section, what you'll primarily find within this community here is those homes that were built in the 90s, early 2000s, typically selling between $1 million and $1.3 million. And then south of Dundas, what you can find are some of those larger, beautiful detached homes, each with their own unique style and characteristics, sitting on large size lots. While there are less options to choose from, there are a great option when they do come on the market. And these homes here can be selling anywhere from $1.4 to $2 million. And then if you are looking for those newer homes, like I mentioned, you're going to find them on the north side, kind of selling in that low $1 million mark as well. Then if you're looking for townhomes, best option you're going to find is really along Parkside Road. You're going to find some in that north side, in that newer community. You're going to find some of those typical 2-story townhomes to choose from, as well as a few 3-story townhomes as well that come in at a bit more of an affordable price tag. And this made up about 36% of the real estate sold, and they typically sell between $750K to $1 million. Alright guys, so now that you know everything about what it's like living in Waterdown and the different neighborhoods, comment down below which neighborhoods you think are right for you and your family and where I should go more into detail in. But the next area that I would recommend you think about, especially if you're looking to live close to nature, is Dundas. So let's jump into the video and break everything you need to know about Dundas. Is Dundas the right small town community for you and your family? Possibly, but it really does depend on what neighborhood you choose, as there's going to be some best neighborhoods as well as some worst neighborhoods in Dundas based on what you're looking for. So in today's video, I thought we'd break Dundas down into its 7 different neighborhoods of Coots Paradise, Downtown Dundas, Governors, Highland Park, Pleasant Valley, University Gardens, and Pleasant View. So by the time you finish this video here, you'll get the lay of the land of exactly the different neighborhoods to expect in Dundas and which ones are right for you and your family. So let's just jump on into it and talk about the first neighborhood, Coots Paradise. And Coots Paradise is an outdoor lover's paradise, and it seamlessly blends its character and charm with the natural wonders together, as this gem of a neighborhood offers a diverse mixture of home ownership possibilities as well as outdoor activities to do. And it's no surprise it's one of the most sought after communities within Dundas. As located within Coots Paradise, you'll find a lot of smaller little neighborhoods, but in general, what you're going to be experiencing when living in this part of Dundas is, first, you have the largest park within Dundas's borders. That's that traditional park being Dundas Driving Park, with a variety of activities to do all season long, as you got a jungle gym and splash pad to enjoy in the summertime, as well as a variety of different sports fields. And then in the wintertime, you'll find an outdoor rink here to skate around and enjoy the winter season. But also within this neighborhood here, you're also just a short drive or walk away from Spencer's Gorge, and in my opinion, the best hiking paths to enjoy in all of Hamilton. As here, you're gonna stumble across Webster Falls, being the biggest waterfall within Hamilton. You got Toos Falls being the tallest waterfall within Hamilton, and then also Dundas Peak, where you can hike up to and look at the valley that Dundas sits in. But if that wasn't enough, you also have another large conservation area on the other side of the neighborhood, which is what this neighborhood is named after, being Coots Paradise, as here is a large conservation area with countless number of trails to explore going along the Hamilton Harbor. But also within this community here, you'll find a small butterfly garden where you can go and enjoy a variety of different butterflies flooding around you while you also enjoy this tropical garden. And then also just a short drive away from this community here, you're gonna find McMaster University as well as McMaster Sick Kids Hospital, as well as one of my local favorite farms in Dynamite's Glen Drummond Farm. Now, as for the real estate, for what you can expect living in the Coots Paradise neighborhood, is it's a wide variety of different detached homes to choose from. You will find a few semi-detached home options. However, the majority will be detached homes. Now, if you are closer to the downtown area of Dundas, what you're going to be finding there are a lot of homes that were built in the late 1800s, early 1900s, either being those smaller bungalows or 1.5-story homes, but you'll also see some larger 2-story and 2.5-story homes. Now, if you're looking for price ranges of what you can expect to pay when living in this neighborhood, if you're looking for those smaller detached homes, they're typically between that $600,000 and $900,000 mark, where if you're looking for those larger detached homes, you can typically find them selling between 900 and 1.4 million. And then the further out you go from the downtown core, you'll also find a variety of different options of homes that were built in the 60s and 70s, as well as some built in the 90s and early 2000s. Then, while we're talking about downtown Dundas, is the next community you need to be aware of, and probably the community you're going to visit regardless of all the other neighborhoods you choose the most often, as this is where you're going to find those local events and festivals that happen within Dundas, but as well as many of the great local businesses that I enjoy there. As being a part of Dundas, you need to check out the Thirsty Cactus for amazing Mexican food. You got Detour Cafe, as well as the French Revolution Bakery and Creperie to grab some coffee or some sweet treats. And then you also have Dundas Shawarma to get an amazing shawarma pita as well. And then two other ones I'll quickly mention are the Jack Sweet Shop, where you can go get some sweets or possibly a delicious breakfast like some waffles with some whipped cream, or you can also go visit the Sean Ed Brewing Company. Now, when you're living in Dundas, well, downtown Dundas isn't going to offer you many different real estate options to choose from. You'll notice some of those older, smaller, and some larger detached homes that are really built just on the backside of downtown Dundas, but the majority of options here are going to be really commercial real estate for those local businesses, as well as a few small little office areas that you can also run your local business out of as well. Then another thing you can expect to find in downtown Dundas throughout the year is a variety of festivals, like I mentioned. The first being Cactus Fest, which is the largest festival that happens in Dundas, usually the third weekend of every August, and I'm pretty sure everyone in the small town comes together and goes and checks it out. But you'll also have Bunkers Fest, where you'll see street performers coming around the world to Dundas to show off their unique talents. And then in the Christmas time, to put yourself in the holiday spirit, you can also visit their tree lighting ceremony. And then as the trees get lit, every single weekend there's usually something going on. So this is really where you're gonna find like the heart and lifeblood of that small town community where everybody knows everybody. It's gonna be happening in downtown Dundas here. Then one final thing I'll mention you'll find in Dundas is also the Dundas Art Rally, perfect for a weekend if you're just looking to get out and see what some local artists have produced. So if you're new here, my name's Matthew, and this is my channel, Living in Hamilton, Ontario, where I share everything about what it's like living in Hamilton before actually moving there, from the pros and cons, the parks, the real estate, and more. And if you're thinking about buying a home in Hamilton, send me and my team a message to book your free relocation call to go over any questions you have, as well as talk about the best real estate options, as well as neighborhoods for you and your family. But other than that, the next neighborhood let's check out is Governors. Now, Governors is located on the opposite side of the downtown core of Dundas, and this is a large, expansive neighborhood which is also covered by a lot of different green spaces and outdoor activities to enjoy. Two of the most notable would first be the Dundas Valley Golf and Country Club, as well as Curling Club is here, which currently is in the top 100 best golf courses throughout Canada. So you definitely need to go check out their 18-hole, but they also have a golf range to tune up your shot and take out that slice that seems to always come back every single year when you're starting the golf season. And then if you're into curling, they also have 5 sheets of ice to go enjoy year around. Then the other large green space you're going to enjoy when living in this community here has to be the Dundas Valley Conservation Area, which has over 3,000 acres to explore and more than 40,000 trails. And if you hike long enough on these trails here, you'll run into some ruins of the Hermitage Ruins, which was a stone house that was originally built in 1855. Then also within this community, you're going to find one of the major community centers found in Dundas, being Dundas Lions Memorial Community Center, offering a variety of drop-in activities, as well as an indoor pool and pickleball courts, as well as anything in between. Now, as for the real estate found in Governors, it's going to be kind of similar to Coots Paradise. The closer you get to the downtown core of Dundas are going to be those older heritage homes, but as you move further away from it, you're going to see a lot of great options to choose from. First, you're going to see some more detached homes that were really built in the late 80s, early 90s, maybe some even in the early 2000s that offer that 4-bed, 3+ bath. And these larger, newer homes are going to be selling between 900 and 1.4 million, where those smaller, older homes are going to sell anywhere from 600 to $1 million range. Now, what's different about Governors compared to the other neighborhoods we've talked about so far is you're also going to find a wide variety of townhome options to choose from. Typically, they're going to be either in the middle of this neighborhood here or along Governor's Road. And the majority of townhomes here were really built in the 1980s and 1990s, selling for $550,000 to $750,000. However, you can find a select few newer townhomes available as well, selling between that $750,000 to $850,000 mark. And then if you're looking for a condo in Dundas, this is also the neighborhood for you, as this is going to offer you the most amount of options to choose from. And these condos are going to be located close to the downtown area, offering you really those low rises that offer some stunning views of the valley and the escarpment that Dundas sits within. And they're selling anywhere between $500,000 and $900,000 that are usually those 1 to 2 beds, 1 to 2 bath condos. Then on the other side of Governor's Road, similar to this neighborhood here, you will find Highland Park. And this gives you easy access to all the amenities we just chatted about in Governor's neighborhood. But Highland Park is also another sought after neighborhood for its $1 million view ravine properties. And this community is an established, eclectic, and offers the natural residents another natural spot to really enjoy the green spaces while also in your backyard. As throughout this neighborhood here, you're going to find a variety of smaller parks dotted throughout this neighborhood, but then you're going to find many different trails taking you either to Dundas Valley Conservation Area, or you also have easy access and a short walk away from the Dundas Rail Trail. Now, when you're living in this neighborhood here, you also have some great local businesses that I would be remiss to not shout out. First, you got Big Bone Barbecue and Wicked Wings for some amazing chicken wings, but you also have Maryween Indian Twist for some delicious butter chicken or anything else that you're looking to get your Indian food craving fixed. Then as for the real estate found here, it's primarily going to be those larger detached homes that were built in the 90s, maybe some in the early 2000s as well, and those are going to be selling between $900,000 and $1.4 million. Whereas the townhomes found in this neighborhood here are really going to be between that $650,000 and $750,000 range. Now, one of the things I know so many residents love about this community in particular is, like I mentioned, is those ravine properties or properties that back onto a forest or a park. A lot of great options to choose from as well here. Now, also within this community, you're going to find some of the top rated schools throughout Dundas. That's going to serve a large part of Dundas as well, being Sir William Osler Elementary School as well as the Dundas Valley Secondary School. And then right beside this community here, you'll find our next neighborhood let's chat about, which is Pleasant Valley, which is a fully residential neighborhood. So you're not going to have as many shopping options to choose from as some of the other ones. However, it is going to even take the nature to the next level here, as this community here is pretty small, but it's 270 degrees surrounded by nature, giving you easy access to a variety of trails within your backyard, as well as the Hamilton to Brantford rail trail running throughout it. Perfect for any long runs where you can basically just run straight or bike straight in one direction until you absolutely exhaust yourself. Just remember though, and I've learned this the hard way, you got to run it back. So make sure you pace yourself. Put in I like a 5K, so 2.5 one way, 2.5 the other, and you had a great day there. Now, as for the real estate, what you can expect is it's mainly detached homes that are either side splits, back splits, or bungalows that were usually built in the 1960s and 1980s, and therefore you are going to really notice the large lots it sits on, close to walking trails, like I mentioned, to those different trails, as well as parks. And these homes here are really going to be selling between that $800,000 to $1.3 million mark, depending on what you're looking for, both with the size of the home and the level of finishings you're looking to move inside. You can find some ones in the high 8s, low 9s that need a bit of love, but you can find ones that are turnkey, ready to move in with all luxurious finishings in the low 1 millions. So if you are thinking Dundas might be the right community for you and want a better detailed analysis based on your search criteria, what your family is looking for next, the next best steps I always recommend is booking a relocation call with me and my team where we can answer any of your questions and go through the real estate and neighborhood opportunities that might be the best fit for you. So you can send me a message today to get a call on your calendar. Other than that, let's talk about the next neighborhood you might want to consider when living in Dundas, and that's University Gardens. And this is a primarily residential neighborhood that sits above Dundas's valley and is decently close to the rest of Hamilton, as well as in particular McMaster University, which gets its name University Gardens, as just across the road you'll find University Plaza that offers quick and easy bus access to McMaster, but also some amazing businesses to pick up. Anything at Canadian Tire, you can go get an amazing bagel fresh off the brick oven from the old bagel house. But you also can do hot yoga at Moda Yoga, which absolutely kicked my butt when I used to live in this neighborhood here. Then as for the real estate and what you can expect, primarily it will be detached homes, typically those bungalows and some side splits that were in the 1950s to 1960s, selling between $650,000 to $850,000. So one of the more affordable neighborhoods to choose from for detached homes. But also here, you're going to find a few low-rise condos as well to choose from. And these will be the most affordable condos as well, selling around that $300,000 mark. Then the next neighborhood is similar to University Gardens, is it's outside of the Dundas Valley, and that is Pleasant View. Now this is really located and probably closer to Waterdown, as it's located right on Highway 6. And here you're gonna find mainly detached homes that consist of couples, a few families, as well as some retirees looking for a relaxed place on the outskirts of the urban setting, while it's just a short drive away from many different shopping centers. Now, if you're living in this neighborhood here, you're probably gonna be visiting the shopping centers in Waterdown more frequently than you are Dundas, just based on where it's located. Now, you also have in your backyard with this neighborhood here, Royal Botanical Gardens, which offers 5 unique gardens to go walk through and enjoy year around. Then as for the real estate, because this is more of a rural community, it's just going to be detached homes, and it's really just going to be a few pockets of detached homes to choose from. Not a lot of real estate pops up here, so if you're interested in moving to this neighborhood, definitely will need to keep your eye on the market, as they're typically those 1950s to 1980 bungalows that are selling between that $800,000 to $1.3 million. But they are sitting on large, massive sized lots. So it's becoming very popular for any builders that might want to find a home that needs a bit of love or possibly be teared down to create your own dream homes. Alrighty guys, so since you now know everything about what it's like living in Dundas, but also Ancaster, Waterdown, Stoney Creek, and the mountain, if you're thinking about making the move here, send me and my team a message today. But the next area I'd recommend you go take a look at, especially if you're looking for the best public transit, the best local businesses, as well as the most walkable area, is going to be Central Hamilton. So let's go take a look and see how that breaks down. Where are the best neighborhoods and the worst neighborhoods for you and your family to move to in Central Hamilton, as this is a large area and is broken down into 7 distinct different communities, being downtown, central, West Hamilton, East Hamilton, North Hamilton, Hamilton Beach, and the industrial sector. So these 7 communities all have their different pros and cons, look and feel, and by the time you finish watching this video here, you'll know the best communities for your family as well as those communities to avoid. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this is my channel where I share everything about what it's like living in Hamilton and the surrounding cities. And recently I've had a bunch of people reach out looking to buy here. So if that's you as well, feel free to send me a message. Otherwise, let's just jump on into it and first discuss downtown Hamilton. And this is located in the core of Hamilton. And if you enjoy that hustle and bustle lifestyle with a bunch of amenities within walking distance from your door, this is probably the best area for you, as it's going to have the bus public transit with a variety of bus routes running throughout it. But here you're also going to find a variety of different amenities to capitalize on. As first, you have Jackson Square, which is one of the 2 flagship malls located throughout Hamilton. But here you also have the First Ontario Centre and Concert Hall, where you can go catch a Hamilton Bulldogs game or a Toronto Rock lacrosse game, or you can go see one of the many events and shows that happen in the concert hall. Then also in this neighborhood here, you have the largest farmers market, the Hamilton Farmers Market, which is an indoor market that happens year around for you to go pick up some local fresh produce as well as support local businesses. But also in this downtown area here, you have the iconic Hess Street, which is full of a variety of different bars, clubs, and restaurants for you to enjoy on your evenings or weekends. And then also in this area here, you're going to find some of the best restaurants throughout Hamilton, especially along James Street, and King William Street has some of my favorite restaurants like Cowabunga Pizza, Merritt Brewery, The Mule, and Handbook. Now, when you're looking for real estate in this area here, where you're primarily going to find is condo options to choose from, as this made up 52% of the total real estate sold, and this is where the majority of condo options are found throughout Hamilton, with a lot more investments coming in the recent years. As recently, there's just been a few buildings finished construction now, and even more projected to start construction in the next few years. Then if you're looking for a detached home or townhome in this community here, you're primarily going to find those classic early 1900s large red brick detached homes surrounding the outskirts of the downtown area. And this area here is especially popular with those young professionals who are maybe moving outside of Toronto but are still looking for that condo lifestyle with ease of access to a variety of different amenities just a short walk away from your doorstep. Then the next area that surrounds downtown, let's chat about, is Central Hamilton. And this is located really in the middle of Hamilton, surrounding the downtown area and bordering the Niagara Escarpment. And when you break it down, you can really see it. The west side, you have the Kirkendall neighborhood, or the east side, you have Gage Park and the Deltas neighborhood. And this area here is popular, especially with those young families who are looking to get into a mature neighborhood with some great detached options to choose from. Now, some of my favorite amenities when living in this community here is, first, you have Tim Hortons Field, the home of the Hamilton Tiger Cats and Forge FC. So if you're living on the east side of Central Hamilton, this is where you're going to find that community there. However, both on the east and west side, you're going to have popular streets with their own local restaurants for you to choose from. On the east side, you have Ottawa Street, which has a variety of different businesses like the original first ever Tim Hortons found here, Mike's Sub, and Merc Snack Bar. But then on the west side, you have Locke Street, which is home to Earth to Table Bread Bar, Donut Monster, and Maddie's Hot Chicken. And what's also great about living in the central part of Hamilton here, because it is a mature neighborhood, you're going to have great access to some amazing parks. And regardless of which area you choose, there's going to be a lot of outdoor space for you to capitalize on the weekends. As out to the east, you have Gage Park with all the great amenities, greenhouse, outdoor stage, and gardens it has to offer you. But then out to the west, you have Chadok Golf Course, as well as the Chadok Rail Trail, which really runs along the entirety of the base of the escarpment, giving you great trails to explore, maybe with a furry friend. And then as for the real estate found in this community here, this made up 41% of the total real estate found in Central Hamilton, with the majority being detached homes really built in the early 1900s up until the 1930s that have either been renovated from top to bottom on the inside with luxurious finishings, or have been converted into a duplex and triplex, perfect for any investors looking to get an investment property, or any young couples or families that are looking to house hack and rent out a portion of their home. And as a rule of thumb, the further east and north you go in this area here, the cheaper the homes are going to be, as well as their size is going to get a bit smaller, where the more you head west and south, the more you're going to find those large detached homes that are a little bit more expensive. Then the next area that we're going to check out is West Hamilton, and this is located, in my opinion, everything west of the 403 and is in between Dundas and Ancaster, and this includes neighborhoods like Westdale and Ansley Wood. And this community here is really great for any families who are maybe outgrowing their current townhome or detached home and are looking for a larger detached home that still offers some great walkability both to local businesses and great nature outdoors. As overall, this community here is centered around McMaster University and Sick Kids Hospital. So you're going to see a vibrant community both with students and young families capitalizing on these neighborhoods here. As not only do you have McMaster, but you also have some great schools with Westdale Public High School and St. Mary's Catholic High School, ranking two of the best high schools throughout Hamilton. As well as in this area here, you're also going to find some great elementary schools to choose from. Then within a walking distance, especially if you're living in the Westdale neighborhood, you're going to find Coots Paradise, which is a large conservation area that has preserved in its natural habitat and perfect and ripe for you to explore on one of the many walking trails here. And then when you're living in Westdale, like I mentioned, you're just a short walk away from some many local restaurants. So some of my favorite when I attended McMaster University, first would be Basta Leaks, the next one would be Snooty Fox, which is great for some drinks and karaoke, and then of course the Paisley Coffee House to get some work done and enjoy a latte. And if you're not looking for a coffee and want something a little stronger, you also have two different breweries located on the east side of West Hamilton in Grain and Grin and Fairweather Brewery. And then another plus about living in this community here is you do get access to some great public transit options, because McMaster is a big bus hub with a lot of people coming in from around the city to attend McMaster University. But also at McMaster, you have the Go bus stop, which is going to have a variety of different bus routes taking you to the surrounding cities. And then as for the real estate in this community here, this made up about 7% of the total sales that happened throughout Hamilton, and it's primarily detached homes that were built between the 1930s and 1960s. As here, you're going to find homes that are close to McMaster that have been converted into student rentals. And then as you move more to the outskirts, closer to Coots Paradise or closer to Dundas or Ancaster, that's where you're going to find a variety of families living amongst them as well. Then on the opposite side of Hamilton, you have East Hamilton. And this is really locating the central part of Hamilton and bordering Stoney Creek, with some of the neighborhoods truly tucked into the Niagara Escarpment. And this area has seen an influx of those young families and young couples looking for a detached home, as this area here is typically more affordable compared to the West End. However, these are for families that maybe want to be a little bit further separated from the downtown area of Hamilton. And some great amenities that you have here is, first, you have easy access to Eastgate Square Mall, which is a mall located in Stoney Creek. But you also, like the other areas, have great access to some green spaces, as you have the Red Hill Valley Trail that runs north to south on this area here. But you also have Confederation Park, which is bordering Lake Ontario and offers wild waterworks as well as Adventure Village. And then perhaps a historic charm you need to check out when living in the east end of Hamilton is the Playhouse Cinema, which has been around showing movies for more than 100 years. And then if you like golf, this area, like Central Hamilton, also offers some golf courses in Kings Forest Golf Club and Glendale Golf Club. Now, in total for the real estate, this made up 27% of the real estate sold in Central Hamilton. And like the other areas, primarily here, you're going to find detached homes. However, here you're also going to find a better mixture of townhomes and condos to choose from, as the majority of homes in this area here were built between the 1950s and 1980s, with the detached homes being typically slightly smaller compared to the West or Central Hamilton, as these ones here will be a lot of bungalows, 1.5-story homes, as well as a few 2-story homes to choose from, making it a perfect spot for anyone that is looking for an affordable home to get started in. Then the next area let's take a look at is North Hamilton, and this is located on the north side of Hamilton, in between the Hamilton Harbor and downtown Hamilton. And as more investment gets poured into downtown Hamilton and we see it expand, this area here is also going to benefit greatly, as here we are going to see some of the biggest developments coming in, like Pier 8, which is going to be a massive revitalized community center that's being built in the next coming years. But also here you have some great parks to capitalize on. As first, you have Bayfront Park, which is a large park to walk around, enjoy the beach, and also attend one of the many festivals that happen here. But you also have Pier 4 if you have a boat and you want to dock and store it somewhere. And then Pier 8, you also in the wintertime are going to find an outdoor skating rink to enjoy. And like downtown Hamilton, this area here also has some great local businesses to choose from. As first, you have Granddad's Donuts, but you also have Hutch's Ice Cream Shop and Collective Arts Brewery, which are all great options to choose from when living in this area here. Then also, when you're in this community here, you're also right beside the primary GO station currently in Hamilton that has a train going to Union Station every hour, which is West Harbor GO Station here. Now, as for the real estate, because this is a small area of Central Hamilton, it only made up about 5% of the total real estate sold, with about 80% of that being detached homes. However, in the coming years, you can also expect to see a lot of new townhome and condo options to come in, like the Pier 8 project we mentioned just shortly. Then the next area you need to check out if you're interested in living close by the water would be the Hamilton Beach, as this is tucked right below the Hamilton Escarpment. And here you're going to find a small collection of detached homes that are located right in between Burlington and downtown Hamilton and are right along the beachfront of Hamilton. And And one of the great amenities of living here, other than the easy access to Lake Ontario, you get Barangas on the Beach, which is a great restaurant to go enjoy some afternoon drinks or go play some beach volleyball games here. Now, in total, this only made up about 1% of the real estate sold in Hamilton, so you're not going to find many options to choose from. So if you want to live in this area here, make sure you keep your pulse on the market. And then the next area let's check out is the industrial sector. And this is located right beside the industrial area of Hamilton along the Nikola Tesla Way, where you're going to find factories like Stelco and DeFasco working on producing what Hamilton is known for, the Steel City. And in this area here, you're going to find some of the most affordable detached homes throughout the entire city here. As here, primarily what you're going to find are those 2-story detached homes, a few 2.5-story, and a bunch of 1.5-story detached homes to choose from. That is a great home to get into the market, build some equity, and then flip it for a bigger home down the line here. So now you know how the central part of Hamilton truly breaks down. If you're looking for a more quiet atmosphere, this next region in Flamborough and all these small communities that make up it could be a great option. So let's go see what the best communities in Flamborough are. What are the small towns in Hamilton's community, Flamborough, that you need to check out if you're looking for that small town charm that I know some of my clients are absolutely looking for? Well, in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the top 6 small town communities from their real estate, their parks, their local businesses, and other special characteristics that make them each unique, so you know which ones are right for you and your family. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this channel is all about living in Hamilton, Ontario, from the real estate to eating to sleeping and everything in between. So if you are thinking about making the move to Hamilton, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call. Otherwise, let's just jump on into it to the very first small town community I always recommend, and that is Carlisle. As Carlisle is located just about a 10-12 minute drive north of Waterdown in the Flamborough community, and here you're going to find a variety of great parks to capitalize on. As first, you have Court Cliff Park with many different soccer fields and trails to explore, to Carlisle's conservation area, which is a smaller conservation area compared to some of the surrounding conservation areas, but nonetheless, it's right on the southern part of this community here for you to enjoy, and it's just a bunch of trails around Bronte Creek, as well as a gazebo to go sit down and maybe have a picnic at. And then you also will find in this small community here, Carlisle's Arena, which offers another ample green space to enjoy, as well as ice rinks to use on the inside. Now, what you're also going to find when living in this community here is you're going to find a public library. You're going to find a variety of different shopping options and restaurants to choose from on the 4 corners of Carlisle. Now, overall, because it is a small town, you're not going to notice any of these big box chain retail stores. So that just comes hand in hand with a small town, but instead you're going to offer a variety of local businesses to enjoy, and Carlisle has some of the most amount of options you're going to be finding on this list here. As on these 4 corners, you're going to find the Carlisle Farm Market, which is like a little corner store to go pick up your basic amenities. You can find Baker Plus, would highly recommend their banana bread or their butter tarts, but you can also find Cascata Bistro to go pick up some of their amazing flatbread. My personal favorite is their bacon bruschetta, but then you can find a few other shops like the LCBO or Lace and Birch Flower Shop to choose from. Now, when you're living within this community here, you have 2 elementary schools to choose from, one public and one Catholic, being Belaclave Public Elementary School, as well as Our Lady Mount Carmel Catholic School. Now, there currently aren't any high schools located here, probably not going to be coming, as just the town's population doesn't really support that. So most of your kids will be bused to one of the surrounding communities that has a high school like Waterdam. Now, as for what you can expect from the real estate here, it was primarily detached homes built in the 1960s to 1990s, early 2000s. And here you're going to notice a lot of large lots that these homes sit on, offering usually 3 to 5 beds, 3 to 4 baths, and can be anywhere from 1,500 up to 3,000, 4,000 square feet, depending on what you're looking for. And I know a lot of my clients that are loving this small town community here want that small town community charm, that large lots that come with living in more of a rural lifestyle, but still want that subdivision, that community of sense of neighbors that are all looking after each other. And this is definitely what you get when living in Carlisle here, as the majority of homes here are going to be selling between 1.25 and 2.25 million dollars, and you will find some more larger estates sitting on 8, 10 acres offering 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 square feet with 5, 6, 7 bedrooms selling for 3 million, 4 million. However, again, the majority are going to be between that $1 to $2 million mark. Then another thing you need to know before I move on to the next community is you have really two primary golf courses close by here. You have the Carlisle Golf Course as well as the Dragonfire Golf Course. Both great options to get a quick 18 or 9 holes in. Then the next community you need to check out if you're looking for that small town living is Freelton. And this is located on Highway 6, halfway between Waterdown and halfway between Guelph, Ontario. And in here, you're really going to notice a little bit less shopping options going to Carlisle, but still some great ones. As first, apple orchard, where you can go pick your own apples and pears, but you can also go get your own pumpkins and raspberries when in season. Other than that, you'll find the Sunrise Sunflower Farm to go pick up some delightful sunflowers to brighten your living room or your kitchen, as well as the Breezy Corner Family Restaurant to go get a quick breakfast meal in when you're not feeling like cooking a breakfast maybe on a Sunday morning. Then a few parks you'll need to check out when you're living in this small community here is first you have the Freelton Community Park that offers a variety of different sports fields, tennis courts, baseball diamonds, as well as an outdoor hockey rink. But you also have the Centennial Park that offers a lot more green space and a few sports fields to enjoy. Now, as regards to the schools in this community here, depending on where you're living is going to depend on which schools your kids go to, as one, they could be going to the schools in Carlisle or also to the schools down in Millgrove, just depending on which side of the community you're living on. And then same for high schools, you're going to be bussed out to either the Waterdown or one of the other surrounding communities. Then also, when you're living in this community here, you can definitely capitalize on the small library that is found within this community, or also the Pinelands Green Golf Club, my personal favorite place to go get a quick pitch and putt 9-hole golf course when you're living here. Now, as for the real estate and what you can expect to find in Freelton is it's 100% again detached homes. Now, typically these here tend to be a bit smaller homes compared to Carlisle, and they're usually 3 to 4 beds, 3 to 4 baths with a variety, some ranging between 1,400 square feet all the way up to 3,000 square feet. However, the lots are a bit spacious. About 100 to 70 feet is typically what it is. However, you can find a few others that are multiple acres, usually built in the 1980s, early 2000s, and most of these homes here will be on septic and well water. However, sometimes you can find homes that are on municipal water, and most of these detached homes here are really selling between that $800 and $1.5 million mark. However, like Carlisle, on the outskirts of this community here, you can find some larger estates for sure. Now, if you're looking for a community where you get that small town charm, but easier access to those big box chain retail stores by being a bit closer to Waterdown, is the next community you need to check out, and that is Millgrove, as this is a very small community off the left side of Highway 6 and the shortest drive, like I mentioned, to Waterdown, that it's only about a 5-minute drive. So it's really like you're living in the downtown part, but not actually within the city. And here you're going to find the Millgrove Community Center that offers 2 baseball diamonds, a jungle gym, as well as an indoor activity rooms. But as well as you're going to find the Millgrove Junior Elementary School, which has been running for more than 100 years, serving and educating its kids within the Millgrove community. And like the other communities we've discussed, this is going to be 100% detached homes found within this area here. Very similar to Freelton with the type of homes and the size of the homes and the time they were built, usually 3 to 4 beds. However, one thing to note, they might be a bit smaller or offer at least 1 less bathroom. So it's usually 3 to 4 beds, 1 to 3 bathrooms is typically what's found between 1,400 to 2,000 square feet, and are selling between that $800,000 to $1.5 million mark. Now, if you are thinking about making the move that one of these communities is right for you and your family, or maybe just want to get more questions answered to better determine which is right, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call, where we can go over all this and more about the available matches currently matching your search criteria. So just send us an email today to get started. Other than that, let's just jump back into the list and talk about the next community you need to consider, and that is Greensville. As Greensville is really located on top of the escarpment's edge in Flamborough, really overlooking the Dundas Valley. And because of this, you're going to get easy access to all the amenities that downtown Dundas and just Dundas in general has to offer you. But other than that, you're also going to find some great parks to choose from here. As first, you have the Christie Lake Conservation Area, which is a large park centered around a lake where you can go enjoy the beach, go fishing, hiking, and also play some disc golf. But then you can also find the Johnson Twos Park, which is more of that traditional park with ample green space, a few great trails to go for a walk on, but as well as a jungle gym to go play on. But perhaps the most notable park within this community here happens to be Spencer's Gorge, which in my opinion is the best park in all of Hamilton for those stunning views and waterfalls. As here, I'm so jealous of the people that live within this community here, as every day you get the chance to go walk Dundas Peak, go see Twos Falls, go see Webster Falls on your daily walk. And truly, it's some of the best views throughout all of Hamilton. But other than the great parks, you can also find some great shopping options to choose from. As first, you got Dynamite's Glen Drummond Farm for some amazing produce, some fresh sweet corn you can find here as well. Also, their butter pecan butter tarts are absolutely to die for. And then, like I mentioned, you're just a short drive down the escarpment's edge into downtown Dundas and all the great shops and local restaurants to choose from. And then when you're living within this community here, you can also find Greensville Elementary School. And then depending on what your kid's age is, you might be attending a few other schools that are just a short drive away, either in the Carlisle, Waterdown area, or also in Dundas, depending on where you're living within this community here. Then other than that, one thing you definitely need to be aware of when you're living in this community, and it is a downside in some respects, but at the same time, you're not going to really notice it on your day-to-day, is you're going to find a quarry on the north side that definitely does produce some noise if you're driving by it because of the heavy machinery going on. However, every single time I'm there with clients, it really doesn't seem to affect your day-to-day life, but I always like to mention it just so you're fully aware. Then another thing that's definitely a pro, at least in my eyes, is you have the Elements Casino and Flamborough Speedway just a short drive away to go have a great night out, either betting on horse races or playing the slots or some sort of blackjack or Texas Hold'em. And then as for golf, you're going to find a variety of different courses around. Perhaps though, my personal favorite is the Beverly Golf and Country Club, which you definitely need to go check out if you're living within this community here. Then as for how the real estate breaks down within this community, again, it's 100% detached homes. Most common are those 3 to 4 beds that were built in the 1950s to 1980s. And here, because it is probably the second or largest, depending on how you break down Greensville exactly, to choose from, it has a variety of options. So you get those typical homes that you're going to find, but then you're also going to find some large manor estates that are sitting on like huge size lots, like 150 by 200, 300 feet deep lots that offer ample privacy. Now, most of these homes here are also going to be on septic and well water, and the prices typically range all the way from $800,000 up to $2 million. Then another community you need to take a look at, and it's definitely one of the smaller ones on this list here, is Rockton, as this is located just off of Highway 8, and it's originally the highway known as Highway 8, but now it's known as Rockton Road or Old Highway 8. And here you're going to find a few different housing options to choose from. Now, the houses here don't come up too often, so if you are thinking that this is the right community for you, make sure you definitely keep your eye on the market, as it definitely has a lot of unique character and charm within this community here. As first, you're going to find some great local businesses like the Cookhouse Bistro to grab some amazing barbecue. My personal favorite is their ribs, but I definitely need to go back and try one of their steaks. But then you can also find Kitty's Ice Cream Garage for an amazing ice cream treat on a summer day, as well as the Pavlo Pottery to pick up some local handmade one-of-a-kind perfect pieces for any guest. And then one of the definite special charms about Rockton is the Rockton World Fair, which happens every Thanksgiving weekend here, where they set up, you can go grab that cotton candy, go play those fair games, as well as go ride a variety of different fair rides, from those Ferris wheels to those slightly smaller roller coasters as well. But then other than that, you're also going to find the Rockton Public School, which is going to give a great educational option to everyone that lives within this community, as well as some of the surrounding communities and rural towns and rural homes. Now, also right beside this school, you're going to find the Beverly Community Center and Park that offers a few different sports fields, a jungle gym, a tennis court, as well as an indoor ice rink to capitalize on. And then finally, how the real estate shakes in this community here. Again, 100% detached homes. It's quite common that you're only going to find that option within these small towns here. And here, like I mentioned, this is going to be one of the smaller communities we're chatting about today. So if you're driving down Highway 8 and you blink and you miss it, don't worry. It's completely normal if you're not knowing what to look out for. I'm just kidding. Like, you'll definitely notice it, but it's definitely a quick drive by it. And for that reason there, not that many homes come on the market, so keep your eye out for those there, and they typically range anywhere from $1 million to $1.5 million. Then the next community let's take a look at is Leiden. Now, Leiden is halfway between Ancaster and Brantford, and basically here you're just going to find this small community along really one road, and there's a second parallel road, but it really just is really one road that you're going to find it, and you're going to find two main parks here to capitalize on. First would be the Leiden Legion Park, offering a baseball diamond, a tennis court, and jungle gym, as well as the Leiden Lions Park, which offers the baseball diamond, basketball court, and another jungle gym to enjoy. But other than that, you're just gonna have a general store that's called The Store. So very original name, and it offers just your basic amenities that you can go grab in a pinch if you don't want to drive out to Brantford or Ancaster to grab the rest of the stuff you need. And then, of course, you can find a nice small public library here to go pick up a great read. Now, as for the real estate, 100% detached homes, again, typically here, these lots tend to be 100 by 200 feet, giving you that rural living and then also sense of community. And again, mostly will be on septic and well water. However, here you can find some homes that do sit on slightly smaller lots that were built even earlier than the 90s, 60s that they were typically built in. And most of the time here, these detached homes are selling anywhere from $800,000 to $1.5 million. Alrighty guys, so now that you know the complete breakdown of the Flamborough and these small communities that make up it, if you're looking for another small community that is just a short drive away from many different shopping options, the next community you need to learn about is Mount Hope. So let's go take a look at everything you need to know before moving to Mount Hope. Before moving to Mount Hope, make sure you watch this video here, as we're going to be covering the pros and cons, the real estate, the parks, the schools, the shopping options, and more, so you know everything you need to know to best determine if Mount Hope is the right community for you and your family. As Mount Hope is located in the Binbrook community on the western side of Hamilton, and it is known for its tranquil, family-centric, community-centered atmosphere in nature, as it primarily consists of single detached homes as well as townhomes with lots of new construction currently being built. As living in Mount Hope, you're going to get access to a lot of great parks close by, as well as the convenience and lifestyle that it comes with living in the city, but within a small community. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this is my channel where I share everything about what it's like living in Hamilton, Ontario. And recently we've had a bunch of people reach out looking to move here. So if that's you as well, feel free to send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call. Now make sure you stick around to the end of this video here, as I'm going to be sharing the top 3 reasons why my clients choose not to move to Mount Hope, so that you know everything you need to know of whether or not it's the right community for you and your family. So let's first jump on into it and talk about the location. So like I mentioned, it is located in Flamborough on the west side, and just about a 5-minute drive away from the Hamilton Mountain and all the great shopping opportunities that Upper James has to offer you. It's also just a short drive away from Ancaster as well. Now, Mount Hope is a small town and really gives that vibe, as it's very safe, a great sense of community. However, there are limited shopping options, as well as you're going to be pretty car reliant when living in this community here. However, with that said, you're going to have some great parks to enjoy when living here. In particular, you're first going to visit the Mount Hope Park, which contains a tennis court as well as a basketball court, one baseball diamond, as well as a nice walking path with a variety of different exercise structures along the path for you to get a quick workout in. As well, you have that splash pad and classic jungle gym that you're going to find in all the different parks throughout Mount Hope. Then also within Mount Hope, you're going to find Southampton Estate Park. Now this here is going to have that jungle gym, that gazebo if you want to just relax in the shade in the park and watch your kids play, as well as a full-size basketball court to enjoy. Now there's a few smaller parks throughout Mount Hope, and perhaps more parks coming in the coming years with all the recent development that's been going on in Mount Hope, but those two are my two favorite currently as of recording this. Now, as for the local shopping and what you can expect within the Mount Hope community, it is a pretty small town, so you're gonna have like a general convenience store there that allows you to get your basic amenities, as well as some local restaurants, as you have the Checkered Flag Bar and Grill, which is an awesome racing interior to enjoy some food and go to karaoke every Saturday night. But then you also have the Wing, which is an aviation style restaurant, and then you can also go Homestead Ice Cream to go grab an ice cream treat on a summer day. Now, other than that that's pretty much all the shopping you're gonna have access to. You will find a gas station as well as a Tim's, but perhaps where you're going to do the majority of shopping is about a 5-minute drive down the road to the Upper James plazas, really along Rymel, and then just down throughout Upper James. And here you're going to find a variety of stores you'll be frequently, from a Fortino's, a Dollarama, an LCBO, a Winners, a beer store, a Mandarin, which you absolutely need to go check out if you've never been to the Mandarin. It's a great spot to go grab an all-you-can-eat buffet. But then you also have a Starbucks and many more restaurants and shops to choose from. Now, perhaps one of the things that definitely makes Mount Hope unique is the fun activities available for you and your kids to do on a weekend. As first, you have the Cameron Speedway, where you can go go-karting on the weekends on their outdoor track. Or you can also go paintballing on one of their many fields that offers a variety of different terrains. Or if paintball isn't your thing, you can go laser tagging for a little bit less pain there, as well as go check out the rock climbing wall, as well as go play bubble soccer within this facility. But other than that, you're also just a short drive away from the Flying Squirrel Trampoline Park, which is a large center full of trampolines of different fun activities, from playing trampoline dodgeball to jumping in foam pits and everything in between, especially on those rainy days. So I would highly recommend going to check out that when you're living here on the weekend. Now, as for the transportation and how you can expect to get around when living in Mount Hope, overall, it's going to be pretty car reliant. However, with that said, you are going to find one bus route that does take you inside Mount Hope. It's bus route number 20, so it does give you easy access if you do want to take the bus to go to anything on the Hamilton Mountain and get those shops there. But also within Mount Hope, you're going to find the Hamilton International Airport, which is going to have a variety of different flights taking you, both domestic flights, as anytime I get a chance to fly out of the Hamilton Airport, I tend to prefer it over the Toronto Airport. It's just a little bit less busy, a little bit less chaotic, and oftentimes a little bit less of a wait time, as I can kind of scooch in a little bit sooner than I can if I go to the Toronto Airport. Now, what's also great about this area here is you're going to find the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum, which is one of the top rated tourist sites you need to check out in Hamilton, as this museum is now Canada's largest aviation museum and has amassed a remarkable collection of more than 40 antique aircrafts dating back to World War II, even the Lancaster bomber, and it has one of the only operational bombers of the Lancaster still in flight today. So it's absolutely super cool, and it's almost like having a free air show in your backyard every single weekend. And then every year they do perform an annual air show that you definitely will need to check out when living within this community here. And then as for the schools and what you can expect when living in Mount Hope, is you're going to find one public elementary school, being the Mount Hope Public Elementary School, from grade JK all the way up to grade 8. Now, as for all the other high schools, for the public high school and the Catholic high school, these here, your kids are going to be bused to the Ancaster High Schools of Bishop Tonus Secondary School or Ancaster Public High School. And I know a lot of my clients absolutely love this, as some of Ancaster schools are the highly rated schools But the catch with Ancaster is it's very expensive. So Binbrook, you kind of get the best of the both worlds, as you'll get the newer real estate at a more affordable price tag, and your kids that are in high school are still going to go to some of the top rated high schools within all of Hamilton. Then as for a Catholic elementary school, it's just a 5-minute bus ride in to Hamilton's Mountain, where your kids will go and attend. Other than the schools, what you can also find within Mount Hope is Mount Hope's public library to go grab a great read. Then as for what you can expect for the real estate in Mount Hope, it's primarily detached homes, as this made up 75% of the real estate sold, and it was really built in two different time periods. First was in that original expansion in the 90s, early 2000s, but then the most recent expansion was happening in the last 10 years. Really, it's been 2015 up until today, and you're gonna find a lot of 3 and 4 bed, 3 and 4 bath detached homes between about 1,400 to 2,000 square feet. Typically that 2-story style, offering either an attached single garage or an attached double garage to choose from, usually ranging between $800,000 up to $1 million. Now you will find something just above the $1 million price if it does have a few extra bedrooms or is a bit larger in the square footage or the lot you can find here. Then you'll also find a few other sprinkled detached homes that were some of the original, and you can typically find these ones that are a bit smaller selling in the $700,000 range. And then the other 25% of real estate sold was townhomes, and this of course made up 25% of the real estate. And with the continuing new construction that is happening here, with a lot of new townhomes being built, I can see this number easily becoming 70-30, 60-40 in the coming years, as there's just a lot of brand new townhome options to choose from, as the majority of townhomes you're going to be finding here have been really built in the 2020s. You're going to find some in like the 2015 to 2020, but most are like 2020 to 2023 up until today. And I imagine as we continue to go in the next few years, you'll find other brand new townhomes in 2024 and 2025. And typically here, these are 3 beds with 2.5 baths, and usually offer that single car garage, and are a great opportunity for families looking to expand their real estate and either get in the market for the first time or sell their condo and look to buy a townhome in a great community to raise kids. Now, typically these prices here are going to range between $700,000 to $900,000. So if you are interested in learning more about the real estate currently available matching your search criteria, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call, where we can go over everything and more about what you can expect when living in Mount Hope. Other than that, another thing that I know is important to me when I'm living in Mount Hope, and it's definitely an advantage, is the amazing golf courses around. As you have 3 total golf courses close by: the Willow Valley Golf Course, the Southern Pines Golf Course, as well as the Chippewa Creek Golf and Country Club. So is Mount Hope the right community for you? Possibly, but before you really know, here are the 3 reasons why my clients choose not to move to Mount Hope, even because of all the advantages it has, it still has some disadvantages. So one is the Hamilton International Airport noise. Now, occasionally you are going to notice some air traffic noise coming in, particularly with those older planes, like those Heritage Museum planes are definitely going to be the loudest and noisiest. But my contrast to that would be, I mean, if it's the old historic planes, they're usually pretty cool to look at, and that's only usually 30 seconds. So you're gonna see those bombers, those fighter jets that are absolutely immaculate to go check out and enjoy. Then another reason why my clients pass on Mount Hope is due to the distance of the highway, because it is about a 5-minute drive before you hit the Hamilton Mountain. It's about another 5-minute drive before you hit the highway, and I know that 10 minutes extra going there and going back is 20 minutes a day, and it definitely can add up for my clients that are going to be routinely already commuting a long way to Toronto or Mississauga on a regular basis and want to live closer with easier access to the highway. And then the final reason is due to the real estate options available in Mount Hope. Some of my clients pass as one, if you're looking for a condo, you're absolutely not going to find any here, so that immediately eliminates it. But also, if you're looking for those side splits, those back splits, those bungalows or those raised bungalows that are sitting on huge size lots, give you that ample green space to enjoy with those mature trees I know some of my clients are really looking for, you're not going to really find that here, as again, it was really built in the 90s. So you'll find some more established communities, but again, not those huge 200 feet deep lots that offer you a lot of outdoor space to enjoy. Alrighty guys, now that you know everything about what it's like living in Mount Hope, one of the other regions that my clients usually also love if they're thinking about moving to Mount Hope is Binbrook. So let's go take a look at everything you need to know about living in Binbrook. Before moving to Binbrook, make sure you watch this video as we're going to be covering everything you need to know from the pros and cons to the real estate, to the parks, to the schools, the shopping, and more, so you have everything about what it's like living in Binbrook before making the move here to best determine if it's right for you and your family. As tucked a little bit away from the hustle and bustle of Hamilton, you'll find this quiet small town charm in Binbrook that's surrounded by nature with urban convenience and lots of shopping just a short drive away. As in 2021, it had a population of just about 11,000 people, and this is growing fast as we're seeing a lot of development happening within Binbrook here, as a lot of families are choosing to call this community home because of the newer real estate options available, with them also being affordable, close to great parks and amazing schools. So if you're new here, my name is Matthew. I'm a local realtor, and this channel is all about what it's like living in Hamilton, Ontario. So if you are also thinking about making the move here and buying a home within Binbrook or one of the other communities, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call. Other than that, make sure you stick around to the end, as I'm going to be sharing the 3 reasons why my clients choose not to move here and why it might not be the best fit for you as well. Other than that, let's start us off with the number 1 thing you need to know about Binbrook, and that is its location. So like I mentioned, Binbrook is located in the Glanbrook community on the further south tip of Hamilton, and it's just about a 10-minute drive away from Stoney Creek on the mountain. And because of this rural setting, you have some great access to amazing parks, which is one of the first pros about living in Binbrook. As the most notable one would have to be Binbrook Conservation Area, as this is a large 978-acre park with many different outdoor activities for you and your family to do, as you have those traditional activities of hiking, canoeing, fishing, but you can also go check out the fun splash pad, which is like the ultimate playground on the water here on the lake. It's like an inflatable zone that's perfect for your kids on a summer day. And then you can also go learn how to wakeboard at their wakeboarding course on the lake as well. And then if you're not a fish and want to stick to the skies, you can also go check out the tree top trekking service, where you can zip line around Binbrook Conservation Area and explore it that way. Other than that, if you have kids and they're going to be in sports, one of the other parks you're going to be visiting quite frequently is the Glanbrook Sports Complex, that offers a variety of different sports fields outside, as well as a jungle gym, but then inside you'll find some hockey rinks as well. And then one other park I'll quickly mention is the Fairground Community Park, which is home to the annual fair that happens every September in Binbrook. And actually this year, it's going to be the 170th year running. So it's an incredible opportunity to go support local businesses, go check out the local fairs and any events and shows that are going on. But also, when you're living in Binbrook, one of the things you need to know about is the shopping options available to you. And this can both be a pro and a con depending on where you're moving from. As overall, within Binbrook's community, you're going to find a few shopping options that cover your basic amenities, as you can find a pharmacy, a grocery store, an LCBO, as well as a few restaurants also to do your basic errands. However, with that said, if you're looking for those bigger box chain retail stores, you're going to have a bit of a drive, as it's about a 10-15-minute drive, depending on what plaza you're looking to go to on Stoney Creek on the mountain, to access those Home Depots, those Walmarts, those Winners, those Canadian Tires. Now, with that said, you do have some great local businesses within Binbrook you can also support when living there, as my personal 2 favorites being Lucky's Fish and Chips, as well as Bin Burgers for an amazing hamburger. Then another con you need to be aware of when you're thinking about living in Binbrook is there's a lack of public transit options available to you. And that just kind of goes for the transportation in general as well. As overall, if you're thinking about taking the bus, good luck. There's right now, as of recording this, no bus stops within Binbrook. And then if you're looking to take the GO bus or the GO train and commute into Toronto, that's going to be about a 10-minute, 20-minute drive away before you hit those stops there. And that's a similar effect for driving to Toronto or out to Niagara is you're again about a 10-15 minute drive before actually hitting onto the highway, which would be the Red Hill Valley or the Lincoln Alexander Parkway on Stoney Creek's mountain, which would then take you to Toronto, Niagara Falls, etc. So it does add a little bit of extra commute time to your mornings if you're thinking about commuting. Now, with that said, within this community here, if you work from home, this is a great option because the homes are a bit more affordable. You can get that home office or that finished basement that you're looking for to get your work done. And that kind of brings me on to the next thing you need to be aware of when you're thinking about living in Binbrook, and that is the schooling options available for your kids. As currently, as recording this, there's 4 elementary schools available, all of which are great options to choose from both public and Catholic. Now, with that said, there are no high schools currently located within Binbrook's community, so your kids are going to have to be bused to one of the Stoney Creek high schools. So now let's take a look at the different real estate opportunities available within the Binbrook community. As like you've heard me mention in this video here, it's one of the more affordable options to find those newer detached homes and townhomes to choose from. So if we jump into the computer here and we really take a look at what you can expect to find within Binbrook. So right here, we got Binbrook right along this here. If we kind of go down, you have the 2 major roads. You got Highway 56, right here, as well as Binbrook Road right here. Now, the general gist of when the different time periods were built is first, if we just go anywhere east of Highway 56, these homes here were really built in the early 2000s. Then where you're going to find the next stage of development was anything just west of Highway 56, kind of tucked in around this area here. This was primarily built around 2008 to 2014. And then now you're going to be finding a lot more development kind of further out to the west end here is we're going to find a lot of different townhomes and detached homes being built. Now, with that said, those newer homes are going to be a bit further away from those amenities that we talked about that are located within Binbrook. Other than that, a few other things you will notice just surrounding Binbrook is you're going to find some of those rural homes that were those original homes before all these developments in the early 2000s, like running along Highway 56. There's going to be a few along Binbrook Road, as well as some of the other side streets as well. So you can find some great rural options also, if that's your thing, within Binbrook. Now, overall, how the real estate breaks down in Binbrook is about 50% of the real estate sold are those detached homes, selling between $850,000 to $1.2 million, typically offering 3 to 4 beds and 3 to 4 bathrooms. The real difference in the price becomes the different square footage as well as the finishings on the inside. Then 47% of the rest of real estate sales are those townhome options to choose from, typically 2 to 3 beds and 2 to 3 baths, selling between $650,000 and $850,000. And then as for condos, there is currently 1 condo building right now located. It's a little low rise, so there's not much inventory to choose from. That's why it only makes up 3% of the real estate sold, and these here sell between $500,000 and $600,000. So if you're thinking Binbrook is the right community for you and your family and are thinking about buying a home here or in one of the other communities, send me and my team a message today to book your free relocation consult call. Now, with that said, because you stuck around to the end, I'll share the 3 primary reasons my clients choose not to move to Binbrook to see if they relate to you. So the first reason is the lack of public transit available. I know some of my clients that are moving to the country are only going to have 1 car to start, and therefore one spouse is going to have to be traveling. Binbrook might not be the best option for you. The second is if you're looking for any of those side splits, back splits, or bungalows with those large lots, because Binbrook was really built in those like early 2000s, late 2000s, you're not going to find many of this style of home here. And then the third reason is the lack of amenities, the lack of restaurants, and the lack of just things going on. As I know some clients that are looking to move to Hamilton, coming from a Toronto, a bigger city in general, and still want a little bit of that lifestyle. Alrighty guys, so that was the complete masterclass of Hamilton's neighborhoods and everything I know about each and every single one of them. If you've made it to this far in the video, I truly do appreciate you sticking around to the end. If you want more one-on-one help in best tailoring what we recommend the neighborhoods are for you, based on your search criteria, send me and my team a message today. But if you want a complete breakdown of the different pros and cons of each one of these regions here. The next video I'd recommend you go take a look at is my video breaking down the major pros and cons of each one of these regions. So you can find that video right here. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.